tiaras, sandals, and some golden armor. Today on Co-op for Two, we play Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons. It's great to have you here, by the way.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so this game I know nothing about. It doesn't look great, but
That's really ringing.
I know, isn't it? But I
don't know.
saw.
I don't know anything about. I have no knowledge of it at all. No.
But I saw.
Hot take.
I saw when they were, on the pictures of it, it had little colored cubes, and as soon as I see the pandemic style cubes,
like
I'm all in.
99,000 games have little cubes.
No, but I mean, like the trend these days are like miniatures everywhere and everything. But I love the abstract pandemic cubes. If I see a co-op game where you're moving around different colored cubes.
Did you notice I'm being passive aggressive today?
I love it.
With my Marvel shirt.
I mean, do we need to get into this? Are you
No,
you
well,
were? Did you ever read? Did you ever read DC Comics or just always Marvel?
I read.
Look at that.
Mainly Vertigo.
Look
That's
at that
pretty
art.
awesome, actually. That looks great.
This reminds me. Do you remember we were in our local game shop a couple months ago, and Greg asks me, "Do you think Gal Gadot is pretty?" Do you remember what I said?
I can't remember. Is it astounding? Yes.
I said basically only in the sense that if you look her directly in the eyes, you lose part of your soul. Yeah, Gal Gadot. She's kind of pretty, in a way.
She's not hard to look at.
If she's your type, I suppose. You might think she's okay looking.
So I've never actually read a single Wonder Woman comic in my life. I think DC mainly I've read Vertigo, and I've done a little bit here and there, but mainly I'm like either Vertigo or Marvel. I think and some of the independent stuff. Like I love like.
I mean, I certainly never read a Wonder Woman comic on its own. Although I saw the price of Wonder Woman #1 is like $300,000.
Okay, well I was thinking about starting there, but I guess I'll have to wait.
Yeah, you might not want to start with #1.
Marvel has a thing where you can read all of
Comics Online.
Yeah,
both
Marvel
of them,
Unlimited, but DC doesn't have that. And
they don't have an unlimited plan, or they don't have their comics
you have
online.
To buy every comic, right? So a Marvel Unlimited is like it's like $80 for the year, and then you can read everything. Well, I mean not everything, but there's like hundreds of thousands of comics on there.
Yeah.
And so I was hoping to find one for Vertigo for DC. Excuse me, but you got to buy them individually, which Marvel also offers, by the way, if you want to own something. But to me, I'm like, that's great. It's like the Netflix or Amazon Prime of
And so I'm sorry, what you said. But you read mostly Marvel?
Yeah, almost. I mean, I'm an avid comics reader and fan and stuff, but so I don't really know much about like most of this lore is going to be lost on me, which is a bummer.
Well, there's not much lore in this game, and I'm not that familiar with the lore either. But now I'm familiar with Wonder Woman from the TV show with Linda Carter, which I used to watch. I mean, for my age, when we were young, we would after school, her show was on, Wonder Woman. And that's a pretty racy show for a little 10-year-old boy. She's like walking around in her business suit, and then she does a little twirl. Dun 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 dun. Do you know this? Do you know the music?
I remember I remember my girlfriend at one point, she said, I never understood why my father loved to watch Wonder Woman. And then when she got older, she was like, I understand. That's why. Which is like terribly sexist. I don't, like.
She was very strong and she did her job well.
Yeah. I never actually watched the original
everything you would
Wonder
want
Woman.
in a superhero.
I've actually not seen the Wonder Woman movie. I know that people
really
love it.
Yeah. There's a couple now.
Well, the second one has been
it's not out yet
due to COVID. So it was supposed to be out by now, I believe. And for people that enjoy the DC movies, I'm not begrudging anyone for liking them. Like I want people to enjoy what they like, but for me personally, Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman, I disliked so much that I said I would never watch another DC movie. And people do tell me they're like, you should see Wonder Woman. It's good. And I'm like, fool me once, fool me twice. For me as a personal choice, I'm never gonna watch another one because they were just I hated them. So.
Well, this is really people think that they're tuning in to watch a board game channel, but it's really a movie channel.
Yeah,
but
we're 10 minutes in.
But I do think I have a very opposite reaction to the movies. Like I heard Superman versus Batman was horrible, but I loathe the Marvel comedy superheroes. They feel to me like they're like mostly comedy. They're trying to do these little one-liner stuff, and I love that the DC people tried to make it dark. Now it didn't work 100% of the time, but I
don't think the reason. I
like
don't think that's the reason they didn't work. I mean, personally, I prefer a darker story, but I don't think that's why the DC universe didn't work. I think that's for other reasons. But we can get into talk more of that while we're playing and stuff. If you want to move along a little bit.
Okay, so in Wonder Woman, we play the Amazons. We're defending our little island of Themyscira, I think it's called. And so there's actually, this is one of these not modular, but we can play 3 different villains.
Yeah, which is what we were talking about recently that we like on our different.
You can't combine them, and they suggest you play against Ares first. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll play against Ares. And you can see on either side there's health trackers, and we win the game if we can bring the enemy's health down to 0, and we lose the game if our health goes down to 0. Very simple. So if you'll help me set up here, we've got colored cubes that represent...
Do I put them around,
no, just put them in piles here. And this is actually interesting. The whites are the Amazons that are they're always the same. They're always the people that help us. And then for the different enemies, they actually describe different purposes for the other cubes. They represent different things depending on the enemy you're playing.
Copy that.
For our enemy, Ares, the purple, if you would put at the top, are corrupted Amazons. So these are always going to be our good guys in every enemy. They always are the same thing, but then in this game, they're the corrupted Amazons. And then if you put the orange next, they're the servants of wars that he brings out on his side. And then the greens are blockades for this enemy.
Okay.
So let's find our...
Is there a difference between the sides?
There is. It's depending on the number of players. So if you'll find the 2-player side, and that's 2 to 4. That's right. And if you also will notice...
Look at how warp that is. 0.5 warp. Yeah.
Are you one of those people that is bothered by those things?
Yeah, I mean...
What happens when someone... Are you the type of person that if someone shuffles your cards, you're like, oh, you're bending the cards?
You have to shuffle the cards.
They just got to get shuffled. They're going to get worn. This is not...
it's nice to not have something like warped. But...
Have you ever seen... Sorry, there's a little diversion. This reminds me. Have you ever seen... Have you ever seen the Saturday Night Live skit? Like, Saturday Night Live has become one of the worst, least funny shows ever on TV. I know you don't watch much TV. It's terrible. But there's one little spoof on...
every now and again, somebody shows me a funny skit from there.
There's a little clip about like the adults with the toys, and they're like not allowed to take them out of their shrink wrap, their little plastic things. Okay. Okay.
I'll have to look at the...
So what I was saying is, at the top here tells you his initial health.
Okay. So
but down at the bottom it says if you want to play difficulty. Yeah, there is a tracker. So we're gonna play on, because this is a family style game, and we just did a video on difficulty levels and what you should start at and all that. We're gonna start at the higher level difficulty. Okay. Is that okay with you? So that's 18 instead of normally 15. Yep. So his health starts at 18, and I believe we always start at 20, but we'll confirm that in a second. Okay, so we don't need these. We do need to pick our heroes. Yes, if you could put that in. Perfect. Okay, so here are the Amazons. We're going to pick one each.
Did you see the Wonder? Look, you just got through saying there's no like.
Well, there's one miniature.
Well, but do they each have powers? Can I look at?
They do. Yes, I'm going to give you your thing now. I think.
So this is interesting actually, because these are like, they're obviously washed.
Yes. So
in that way, like, you can see the details. So that's pretty neat, because that means if you didn't want to paint these, you could still see the details on the
And figures. You could even like do a little touch up. I like when the figures are washed or just badly painted.
Well, washed is like makes them much easier to see the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I would like to see their powers before I pick
Yes, I'm going to give you that. I think normally what we do is we shuffle these and take a couple. Do you want to look at all of them, or do you want to you want to get two and pick one?
Yeah, give me two. I'll pick one.
Okay.
I also like this is the kind of game that gamers that we are like. I think a lot of like it depends. So that's got to be like some kind of litmus test for what kind of gamer you are, which is like, oh, cool. I like the way this one looks with the spear or something like that. You know, like this one I think looks pretty rad. This person with
That
the
would
spear.
be.
That's probably the one I would take if I was looking at the minis. But people like pick the mini they like, right?
I would do that.
I'm like,
I would do that.
I'm like, I want to see what they're.
I would do that if I had a choice.
I mean, I have no idea.
I guess it depends. On this one, they're not that different.
So she's not called Wonder Woman. She's just called Diana.
Diana, yeah.
Okay, during the strategize phase, you may move one region. During setup, draw 2 relics and choose to keep one. Okay, well, I want to know what how the game
works.
and then I'll pick
Okay,
my
I have a feeling
But I will-
like the relic thing seems like a Greg thing. Okay, so
But let's. Yeah,
okay,
let's see.
so in our battle versus Ares, the god of war, we've got one special item. It's called the Sword of Hephaestus. Hephaestus. Oh, you know that? Okay. So one of us takes this.
I didn't realize there was so much Greek mythology in.
Yeah,
in
and
Wonder
it turns out that was the episode 1. Like the first comic is Ares, is the god of war. He's trying to rally all these people for
Because
war.
Hephaestus is the one that like he's like the bang bang forger. He does all the forging and stuff.
I see
He's
that.
like it. Yeah.
Okay.
So sort of Hephaestus, and I'm probably saying that wrong. Just before we start recording, I'm like I try to say, I kept having ingenuity, and I could not say it. I couldn't do it.
You did it. You want to catch your breath there?
I don't know why.
You said the word right, and then your whole system broke down. And then you tried to drink of water like you're going with...
I'll do it.
Okay, you read it.
All right. So collect 4 blessings to charge. Only the hero with the charged sword can deal the final point of damage to Ares. Okay.
Right. So so what's special is in this game, one of us is going to take that sword. We just pick who. And only that person can deal the last point of damage and has to collect and charge up the sword with these 4 little charges. And if you look at your enemy, this is one of these. The rules of this game are actually quite simple. And depending on the enemy, he tells you exactly how to set up. I forget which game does this.
Horrified.
We have another game.
We just did
Horrified. Well, there you go. Okay, that's exactly right. So at the start of this game, one of us gets the sword. I think maybe it should be you. And we start by putting one of these in each monument and temple area.
What's the monument?
So some of them say monument and some of them say temple.
Monument. Temple. Perfect.
Okay, there you go. So whoever has the sword is going to have to go collect these. There's no passing them around, and there's no trading the swords.
Maybe she might be better since she can move a region.
Well, that's a great point.
How easy it is to move, but
that is a great point. Okay,
she really like
if you could put these out by the things. So in this game, unlike you might guess for these cooperative type games where like if you run out of this, the game ends. That none of that happens in this game. You can't run out of cubes. You can't run out of cards. You just reshuffle the card decks if they run out.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about that.
Wait, how do we? What did you say? What the lose condition was?
Yes, lose. There's only one lose condition. It's when this gets down to 0,
Yep.
and one win condition when this gets down to 0. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it. That sounds like Darth Vader. Like,
okay, so one of us is going to have to go around and pick these up. You can pick this up if you end your turn on it. I think you have to end your turn. I'll check that in a second. Okay, so you've done the setup. Now let me...
that was easy.
That's very easy. Now let me explain how to play. We've got a hero deck, and in that is going to be shuffled some special relics. If you take that 1 power,
Sandals.
you get to start with some. Otherwise, there's going to be 4 scattered on the board. Actually, not scattered on the board, but scattered in the deck that come out when we hit them in the deck. And then you can pick them up, and you have that special power for the rest of the game.
Okay.
So if you took that 1 person, though, you'd get a couple to begin with. Here's our hero deck.
Yeah. All right, since I've never played this before, I'm just going to make my choice. I'll be her since the special
Okay.
have to go.
And you're
she's
gonna
also the titular character.
Titular,
I'll just set this across.
Perfect. Okay.
I'll just keep that.
There's our standee for our bad guy. And did we take our people?
You have to pick.
I have to pick one.
You
All
have
right,
to
let me
pick
pick one right now.
That's why I put them there, so they choose now. Which...
I am going
You just
to.
got
I don't
that
love
same-
these guys. I'm gonna take,
What,
but
why,
I'll
why
take.
not? What, you don't even know what. You may deploy one warrior up to 2 different regions with heroes. That sounds good. I have no idea what heroes do.
All right, I will take that one. You pushed me into it.
You're like, let me pick from these 2, and then you're like, I don't want these 2.
Isn't that how you're supposed to? Is that how it's supposed to go?
That's how Jesse does it. Like,
I do suffer from some real indecision.
all right, am I shuffling these?
You picked Diana. You got her. Okay, so we put her in the palace. Yes, you can shuffle them. If we have the person that starts with 1, we'd give them first. Okay,
So
but you're not
these-
shuffling all of them.
Okay,
just 4.
4 of the thing, randomly taking 4 of these.
Randomly taking 4 of the routes.
And then
yes.
do I shuffle the rest of the hero deck?
And then you shuffle those 4 into the hero deck. The rules actually of this game are quite well laid out and quite well done. So let's just make sure we're not missing anything. We did this 4 relics. We shuffle them in, and we should have known what they were so that we could take these out. But it's fine. We can get them when they come out.
Yeah,
It's fine. It's just
Okay, well,
you could get them aside. So you're only gonna have
this is
4
how I do
routes in
mine.
any game.
This is how, when a game is new, I like to put them in the pile.
That's how you
like
shuffle.
this.
And actually, at the back of the book, in addition to this difficulty level, it does tell you if you're playing against a certain hero and you want to make it more difficult, you can remove certain relics that are OP, overpowered. That's a gaming term for you. Against
It's
certain
crazy that
heroes.
these are so easy to shuffle since they're made out of marble.
They're actually pretty bad quality cards.
They're
They're,
made out of
like small.
Jesse, they're made out of
I know.
marble.
I got it. I got it.
Jesse has to put up with my terrible dad jokes.
No, they're great, but sometimes I just have a flat reaction to them to increase the effect.
All right.
Okay, so we've got our 20, and we've got our heroes start in the palace.
Okay.
Okay, then we do his setup, but we've already done his setup, except for his cards. Okay, so each enemy has its own deck of cards. We're playing against Ares.
This could never be shuffled enough for Jesse.
No.
I could spend the rest of the 2 hours or whatever shuffling his cards.
Okay, and then when you're done with that, you can shuffle Ares' deck. Now you'll see also we've got a little nice player aid for each bad guy. So here's your player aid for Ares. That's the special rules when you're playing against Ares. And then we take one of these other player aids and flip it around, and that's the generic actions and player aid. So we should each have 2. So this plays up to 5. It's a little bit of programmed movement in this game, not one of our favorite things. I know you gotta.
Did not warn me about
No,
that.
I did not. Okay, so we don't need the rest of these.
Oh my god, I see it now. Action watch.
Yeah. It's not. It's
I feel ambushed.
Greg got ambushed with the programmed movement. Well, it's not like I love programmed movement. Okay, but
This game is gonna be like I don't know what order any of these stuff is going out in, but it's like we just did Seventh Continent. And this game is like the complete antithesis of Seventh Continent at this point. Like it's like
that's right.
Seventh Continent is like, I mean, at least 10 times the weight of this game. I mean, like actual
In
physical
every
weight.
respect.
And then
Okay, so we've got our hero deck. We've got.
Start with some
All right,
cards.
why don't you take control of that if you don't mind? Okay, so if you look at your player aid, let's just go over this.
Yep.
The start of the
You
round.
wanna, oh yeah, okay, so you can
Start of the round, we do what he says. In his case, I'll just go over what he does, but we'll do it very soon. We draw one of his cards, and you want to draw one, or what? Maybe we're gonna start a round. Let's just do it.
Okay.
Okay. So
we'll
turn over the
next
first card. Yeah, this is our first thing. Okay, we ignore all this, and we just look at where he wants to go.
Library.
The bottom. So he goes
this
to the
just
library.
tells where he.
Wait. Yeah, we don't need that
Ignore
anymore.
the rest of it.
Yeah. So he goes to the library.
This is a
Okay.
formidable card.
There's a lot of this is gonna work. This is gonna happen a lot. Okay, so let's familiarize ourselves with the board because every card's gonna tell us the name of a place. So we've got Zeus, we've got the square, the library, the barracks, the vault, the Colosseum. I want you to notice that some have asterisks. Or stars. Sorry, that's a star. That's right. An asterisk is kind of a star. Does anyone know the history of asterisks?
Can you imagine if someone tuned into this just to learn how to play? They would have it'd be like,
You're in the wrong channel.
yeah, they're in the wrong.
You're in the wrong channel.
Let's hear the history of asterisks.
I don't know. I don't know the history, but now I'm suddenly very curious.
Oh, that sounded like you're gonna be like, "Hey, did you know how to make lemonade?" Oh no, how do you make lemonade? I don't know.
No.
I mean,
I just asked you.
You're,
I know, that's a good joke.
Yeah,
Okay, Vault, Coliseum, Palace, Woods, Training Grounds, Gardens, Watchtower, Temple, Shore, and, there's the art there we can appreciate. It's kind of cool. It's kinda
I
3D.
actually think that's an attractive looking board. I like it.
Okay, so we're following his start of his round.
warpage,
We drew a card, we move Ares to that location, and now he's going to do something there. If there are warriors here, which are the white cubes, we would turn them into the corrupted Amazons.
I see. He's corrupting.
If there are no warriors, deploy 2 orange servants of war there. So let's put 2 orange in his library. Okay, so basically each turn he's going to come out, he's going to bring the purple and the orange cubes out. Then we're going to do our thing. Well, let's do his next step, and then I'll explain it. We're done with this box, yes, completely.
Let me take that off.
Yes, okay. All right, his next step is we draw 1 card for 2 players, 1 card, and we do what it says. So now you're going to draw a card and do what it says.
Tyrannical. Deploy 2 purple cubes to the watchtower. All along the watchtower. That was terrible. Replace all warriors in that region with purple. Okay,
so this is great. Keep this card out for a second so I can show you. I don't know the distribution of these cards, but I want you to notice that he's frequently going to a place and or in specific places turning our good guys into bad guys, which these guys you bring out when you want because they help you. But there's a danger of them getting corrupted, and if they're all in one place, notice they all get flipped at once. So there's a little strategy. You can look. Let's look at it because I don't know what they're distributed. Okay, so it's going to be a surprise. Okay, so we did his step. That's his step. Every time, same thing. First card tells us where he goes. Second card, we do what it says. And then we're going to take. So that was the start of the round. We did his thing. Then we're going to strategize and do our turn. That's 2 and 3, 2, 3, and 4, which I'll explain for a second. And then the end of the round. This is how how he moves. So at the end of the round, after we do our actions, which I'll explain in a second, we look on his board at what he does. So we lose 1 defense for every region with an orange in it. So in this case,
1.
If we ended the round like this, we'd lose 1 point there for that. 2 defense for each purple that makes it to the palace.
Okay.
And 3, I think they're going to be in there.
I see.
And if we had people in the palace and he turned them, they'd start up there. Okay, so he was 1 for every region with an orange, 2 for every...
2 for every...
2 for every purple in the palace.
What about oranges in the palace?
Nope, don't care about orange in the palace. Still a generic rule. So 2 for each purple. So there are 2 purples there. We would lose 4.
Wow, that's pretty big.
And then 3 for each region with 5 or more purple or orange. So the purple and orange are the people.
Okay.
So if there's 5 or more in a region, that hurts us a lot. Okay. The greens, which we haven't gotten to yet, are blockades. These will be told to put these out on roads, and they block us from traveling down that road. Okay, that's all they do. Okay, so that's the basic gist of how he moves this down to 0.
Got it.
End of each round, we check how badly the situation is.
So just to this loses us 2 defense.
Yep.
Any region with orange loses 1 defense.
Correct. And then lastly, any region with 5 or more combinations
of bad things. Which are all these guys.
Right, except the greens can never be in regions, so that's not going to affect us. Okay. Now let's do the most complicated part, which is our actions.
Okay.
If you look at the round phase, strategize.
Oh, so he'll start around. We're always going to do this. He's going to move.
That's right. That's right. He's always going to move somewhere. If it tells us he moves to the same place, it still triggers as if he moved. There can only be 1 blockade on each road. If something comes and tells us to put something where there already is, we ignore it. Okay, so he does it. Then we strategize, battle, and take actions. Okay, so let's look at the strategize part is where we get to talk. So strategize says deal 2 hero cards to each player, face up.
Okay. This is where Jesse yells at me for not shuffling them. I kind of like this art. I mean, it's simple, but it looks nice. I mean, this
very functional, very readable.
like,
that's her little, and this is her little symbol.
Yeah, that's nice. And this, yeah, that's good. I like it.
Okay, so
they're smaller cards than normal, which is kind of weird. They're like just a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I don't love the small cards. Okay, so
there's no sacrifice too great to save someone I love. Nimble.
So here's an example. Okay. Some of the cards.
Why don't you?
Yeah, are they hard to see here? Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
So some of the cards.
Let's move him up a little bit. Why don't you put him here, because then it'll be easiest to see. You can do a top.
Some of the cards have a special ability. Some of them, like your Nimble here, doesn't. It's just a flavor text.
Okay.
So we start out getting 2 cards. If you're a different hero, you might get more. 2 cards face up that we can see what we've got.
Okay.
They each have a combination of these emblems on them.
Got it.
And if you look at the sheet here, it tells you what they're used for. So the footsteps, or I think it's called agility, are used for walking.
So you can move 3, like, so this, for instance, here I can move 3
If
spaces.
you use that for walking, you could move 3 spaces. Okay. That's right. The stars can be used to deploy a warrior if you're in a location that's a command location.
Okay, so I can do both things?
You always pick one emblem to use on a card.
Okay.
And you're going to use one card for an action. So basically, to lay it out, you'll basically be doing this face down and then turn them over. So when we do action 1, you'll pick one of these emblems to do.
So don't have 3. We're not drawing 3 cards yet.
We will draw more in a second. We're going to draw more in a second. So we get a face-up phase where we can see what we've got and talk, and then we get some additional cards that we only we see, and then we plan.
It's kind of
so
weird.
it is weird, but it's an interesting thing. Okay, so on every action, there's going to be 1 card, and you'll only be using 1 emblem.
Okay. So if I have 2 star, that means I put 2 warriors out?
If you put 2 stars, you put, I believe that's right. I believe it's 1, it does it, yeah, it does right here, right. So 1 star to deploy warriors. So if you had 2 stars, you could put 2 warriors in your location. But you have to be in a star location.
Got it.
Command location. And when you move, like in which version of Pandemic, one that you like quite a bit, you can take your Amazons with you.
Oh yeah, Fall of Rome.
Fall of Rome, that's right.
I did actually just think about that.
There are some interesting...
Skipped ahead and I
Okay, so notice again, this rule is always in the game, this card. These are your basic actions. And then, depending on the enemies, these are completely different.
Okay.
So for Ares, you can spend 3 of the books, which I forget what they're called, but 3 books to remove a purple cube.
3 wisdom.
2 fight to remove a servant of war. 3 walking agility to remove a blockade from an adjacent region. And 4 of any 1 emblem to deal damage to Ares. Okay. So if you had, now notice, it's only 1 card. That's right. But look what this says.
Double score if it is your first action.
So if you put that on your first action, you would double
that. Do you have to be
that.
in the same space as him to injure him?
Yes, you do.
Okay, that makes sense.
And any of us can attack him, but only the person with the sword can do the last point of damage. And it doesn't do anything else. It doesn't do more damage. Okay. So my Steadfast says double that card's emblem if this is your first action. So those doubles, you'll probably want to do it here. Although if you're walking, maybe you don't care. Okay, remember, you can only use 1 emblem. And sometimes there'll be ways that you can, like, double. You might think you could double a card twice.
How do you do this?
That's these things.
But how do you collect it?
You just go to that place and you get it.
Automatically collect it?
I'm not sure if you have to end your turn there, but basically, since moving is an action, I'm not sure you can move through it, but basically you end your turn there and you get it.
Okay. So
it may be that just walking through it gets it. So
since during the strategist phase I can move region, so what I'm saying is I should go here for 1, and then use this to go 2, and then 2 to get rid of 4. 2.
Well, that's not a bad idea, but now let me explain the rest of the turn, because you'll see it's... But basically that. Okay, so there's 1... So, to finish up the doubling thing, there's sometimes when you might think, like, I'll double it with this, and then some other card will double it with this. You can only double a card once. Okay. Doesn't matter. You can never combine. And the only other piece, which is useful sometimes for fighting the bad guy, is that if we're in the same space, we can combine our emblems
together.
together.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So remember, to kill him, you have to use 4 of a single emblem.
Okay.
So if I used my sword, if I put my sword as my 2, I have a 2 sword here. It's actually doubled. So if it's your 3rd action, okay. So let's say it was here. Okay.
It was
So here it says double the emblems of one other hero in your region. So let's say we were both here. I did this and you did this. Okay. Well, this is a good example because I can't double it. So let's. Let's do that. Okay.
so,
So
if I did this, you would
but you have no swords
Right.
there. Okay, but let's do that. This is a perfect example. Okay, so let's say we both did this.
We both did this.
We need 4 of any symbol, it tells us, to damage him. So you could say, let's use the footprints. I'm going to contribute 3 footprints. I'm going to contribute 3, but I can double the emblems of one other hero. So I'm going to double your 3 to a 6. So you have 6.
7, 8, 9.
9.
So we do 4 points of damage.
So we could do 2 points
Or
of
2 points
damage.
Sorry, 4 is 4. Yeah.
Perfect. By combining. Okay, so that's how we work together.
Okay.
Okay, so now this is the strategize phase, and this is exactly what we would do. We would talk, you would do your thing. I have a strategize phase also. I can deploy 1 warrior in up to 2 different regions with heroes.
What does a warrior do for you?
So that's these guys.
What do they do? Oh,
they are gonna they bonus up your emblems if you want them to.
And then you get rid of them?
And that's right. You spend them to bonus up.
Okay.
So if this was in our space, we could add 2 more
Okay.
footprints.
Or whatever.
Right, and then they would go away. If we don't spend them, they don't go away. But remember, they are a risk to us.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my phase, I can deploy 1 warrior up to 2 different regions. So I could put 1 here if we were both here. But if we were like this, I could put 1 there and 1 there.
Yeah.
Okay, and these are good, but keeping them on the board for long is dangerous.
Okay, so you're not putting any out?
I do want to put some out.
Are you done with this now?
No, I'm not done with the rules yet. I like to keep the rules with me at all times.
Well, I was just thinking
even
you
with a
should-
game like even
Sure,
Pandemic,
sure.
I want the rules.
I'm just saying so we could easily see what we're
Yes,
doing
okay,
for the
I'll
camera.
move it a little bit.
I would put the...
We're almost done with the
Okay.
rules.
I'm not rushing you, I'm just asking.
But you did ask a good question. Do I want to bring out some Amazons? Like, I'm afraid they'll get turned, but I do want to.
Well, on this turn, I'm not using them.
Now, normally, remember, you can only bring out
Down on
warriors to the star places, but I believe she can do it anywhere. It doesn't say 2 different regions with heroes.
that. Oh, with heroes, I see.
So I am gonna bring 1 out here. Why not? Let's try it.
Okay.
Maybe you could move around with like a little team. Like, don't travel alone.
So, I mean, I like this.
I think your strategy.
Am I
is
the
good.
only one that's able to
Yep.
collect these?
That's right. You can
So
only you can
I don't
collect and you
understand
can't trade it.
what would you do on this?
Well, I might go and try to fight him or clean up. Oh, I should go and try to clean up that if I
Oh,
can.
you want to do those? Well, how do you get rid of those guys? 3 each?
Those are only 2
2
each. So those are easy
these
to do.
these guys are 3 each
Yeah.
then. Oh wait, but it's 3 book. Oh, I can't do that then. I don't have a book.
Well, that's a problem then.
Oh.
But you're going to get some more cards. So let's finish the how the rules work. We get our 2 cards and we can talk. But we're not planning actions yet. We just strategize and we do our special abilities. Then the next step is battle begins. Now, in battle begins, we draw more cards. Battle begins, we each get 3 cards, and we look at them secretly. This is the program movement.
So now after this point, do we
Do we
not
get
get
3?
to talk?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Okay,
But
so
me-
let's not look at these yet.
Yes, I just want to make sure it's 3. It's actually we get to play a total of 3, but how many? Let me make sure we get 3. Battle begins. Don't look. 3. 3. Yes. Okay, we did. Okay, so we plan. And by the way, if you get a relic at any time, if you ever see a relic, either in your face-up cards here or as soon as you look at these
Okay.
when it's time, you just put it out. You say, "Here's a relic," and you make a decision. Your decision is: do you want to discard it forever and then you'll get a new card, or you actually put the relic out in its place, you put the card off to the side, and the first person who ends their turn there
Gets it.
gets it if they want it. If they want it, which usually you would. Okay, so now what were you saying?
Okay, so
Don't
let's-
look at these yet. First
Yeah.
discuss. But you get the idea. We're going to have more cards to choose from that might make us change our
Okay,
plan.
so I can't kill these guys.
You can't.
unless one of these cards has a book on it.
If I'm in the same space as you, I can double. So I only have 2 books too, so I can't do it.
So
How many? You don't have any books. Okay, so you're not going to be getting rid of those guys. What about the orange guys? Can you get rid of them
Yeah,
with
I mean
swords?
but I got to move up there. So I guess I
Okay.
could move. I could do this to move up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then I waste my. So during strategize, this means now, not this is battle begins when we play the cards.
When we actually play the cards,
So
it's about. But we're in the strategize phase. We're in the planning phase now. So you could move.
and
You
how
don't
do we-
need to move.
And so how do we go? I go, you go, I go.
After we plan our face down, we will turn them up.
Do I have to
And
lock
then
these
we'll-
in before I see my cards?
No,
Okay.
no, but you can't tell me. So, sorry, we can plan what order we go in.
Okay.
And you don't have to. You can change your mind on how to use
So I
your
don't
cards.
see.
I've got enough books to get rid of. I don't have enough. Yes, if I bring one of these people, I can take care of one of these.
Okay. Why don't? So you'd have to be in the same region as me. I don't know. This. is
Although
kinda-
notice these don't hurt us where they are.
Why not?
Because we only lose defense if they're in the palace. Some of the cards are going to tell these to move these towards us,
I think.
though.
I mean, like right now. Sure, okay. Why don't I go up and try to kill those things?
Okay.
This has got to be my first action. So those need 2 each. So I mean, yeah. I guess. I mean,
We don't. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy now because like my free move is useless, right? Like.
Yeah, because you can't do the purples. Yeah, your free move is kind of useless. However, I will say this. If you move, we're in the strategize phase. If you move and then I do my power, I can put one of these in your space and I'll be able to put 2 of these out. So just moving lets me put another one of these out.
I mean,
And give it to you.
Fine, I'll move there.
Okay, so, and then I'll use my power to
really
give us
matter.
each
Okay.
one of these. Okay, so, and what I'm going to do is,
So I'll tell you
Yeah?
what I'll do. Then.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put this one here, and
you can bring people out.
I'll bring people
You
out,
could bring 2 people.
and then I'll move up. So again, so if I go first, you do my first action, your first action, my second action.
Yes.
Okay.
But
so let me just say
You're not
this.
going to be in that space
What,
after
right?
your first action. You'll bring 2 people, but you won't be ready to fight him yet. You won't be.
I'm gonna bring them in, and no matter how many, I didn't look at my card.
Uh-huh.
No matter how many.
You're gonna move. You're gonna
How
fight
many
him.
wisdom or whatever or the
Uh-huh.
books I get,
Uh-huh.
I'll be able to hopefully have. If I bring
Yes.
if I bring 4 people in, I can bring them up, and doesn't matter how many
That's
books. I'll
great.
give
Okay,
them.
so you're going that way, and I'm gonna go this way and try to deal with one of those. Okay, that's good. All right, so we've discussed our basic plan,
I'm looking.
and now we discussed. Okay, now we use our powers, and now we get. I
Battle
guess these
begins.
are just sitting here for now. Okay, and then we do battle phase, which is when we get to take all these cards into our hand. Our 2 face up and our 3 face down, and now we can adjust our plan. And we're going to put 3 face down as we adjust our plan.
Sorry, I'm gonna leave mine somewhat up so people can see.
If you get enough strength, you could try to attack him.
Why don't we neaten this up a little bit so people can see easier?
Okay.
But
move
be
this.
aware if you want to look up, make sure that people can see. Maybe put your hand.
Okay, so I
flat.
found a relic. So
Okay.
this is good. I stop right now. I find it. Okay,
Woods.
we stop. Okay, so now we have a choice. We can
Yeah,
either.
we're always taking the relic.
I would think so. So no, some of the relics say when you play this card, you double them. So we're gonna take this out. It's the Amulet of Harmonia. There it is.
Goes here.
It's in the woods. All right. Well, that's maybe.
Who left this thing in the
Uh-huh.
woods? I mean, like it's like price is probably beyond measure, and it's just hanging out in the woods.
So, I think I'm probably gonna try to go get that.
Okay, well, you can't say that. I'm just. I guess I can't really tell you now, so I'm locking in, locked in. What do we do with these? Discard them?
You just discard them. That's right.
I'm usually not a big fan of games where it's like your actions like are limited to like rolling a bunch of dice and saying these are the actions you can take this round, which is essentially what we've got here. And the efficiency gamer in me is driving me nuts that like you basically could just waste some of these things or whatever. Ready?
Nope. All right.
This is very not complicated. There's not really a lot to do right now.
Well, I'm still getting used to how these cards work.
I mean, 4 of them. Well, maybe I should just... you know what? Don't do anything. Now I wonder if I should... like, fight him or deal... No, I think getting the bad things off the board is probably... I don't know. I mean, I can immediately start dealing damage to him, yeah? Like, it doesn't matter?
Yep. Whether that's a wise thing to do, I can't tell you.
Alright, I'm locking in. I'm tempted to start beating on this guy, but there's no penalty for being in his space?
Nope.
Okay. Alright, I'm locked in. Let's do it.
Except if it... Yeah, no, there's no penalty.
And is there any limit on how many of, like, these persons?
Nope, we just use the 3s if we run out.
I mean, that you can have on the board. Okay, you said that. You said that already, sorry.
I think...
Alright.
What I'm
Get
gonna...
on with it.
Okay, I think I have my plan here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that.
Oh, I see. So, now, in other words, if you have to end your movement here, it just makes it so that you can't go like boom, boom, boom.
Right.
You know,
I actually should check that rule about whether you want to... I know you have to end your turn to pick up the relic, so I assume you have to end your turn. It's going to be in a special thing because it's only for this...
Mm-hmm. You plan.
Okay,
Since
okay.
I'm waiting. Ends an action in a region with a blessing token.
Yeah, okay, so same thing as the rules. The rules are actually very consistent.
Okay, and that has to be me, Tico.
Yes.
Oh, am I turning these over?
Not yet, no. Face down, yeah.
Face down, yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't see it. It doesn't really matter. Sorry, I'm just sort of thinking about this for a second. It's not
it's like
as simple as...
complicated.
It's not, because we can only bring out new people at the stars places. I think that's useful. So I actually want to...
I mean, I wonder if it's... like, I'm just thinking, like, if I just generate a ton of these soldiers here and walk in there, can I just smash him?
Yeah,
for,
do
like,
it.
pile
Because
him
he's
in?
he's jumping around, so when you get a chance to do it, maybe you should.
Well, I mean, I've already decided what I'm doing.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna stick with what I was doing. I guess, like, these guys, the orange ones reduce our health, right?
Oh, everything reduces our health. But them being there does, right? These guys don't immediately.
All right. Well, okay.
I know you want to go, but I'm just sorry. I'm trying to think.
Get on with it.
Trying to think.
You know what
here.
that's from?
No.
From
I'm guessing it's Lord of the Rings.
Monty Python.
Oh. It's a fair guess. Like if I don't know it's a quote, like I always guess one of the Lord of the Rings movies because
I've actually done Monty Python quite a bit too. But there's like a whole scene where they're like, all the characters are like, get on with it, get on with it, get on with it. I mean, I could see the designer saying, "Hey, we're gonna like eliminate quarterbacking in this game by."
Well, we'll talk about this. Like this program movement is not our favorite thing, and it does make it impossible to talk. Yes, okay. So we both. It says you turn over one at a time, but I don't. But you're allowed to talk. We're allowed to talk and plan now. So I'm not sure why we couldn't just. If we can say what's there, there's no reason we can't turn over and look at it.
Whatever. Okay. I mean, this seems absurd to me. We can talk about what's here?
Yep.
Okay, then flip them
so
over.
So let's just flip them over, yeah.
Although
it would help you from, like, if you agreed, like, we're not going to even think about what's there, then it would help you make your turns.
That's kind of
But,
absurd.
okay. So we can choose the order now. I mean, we can go simultaneously because we're not affecting each other.
What I was going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
So we make 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go up there. I'm going to walk up there with Nimble.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to kill those 2 orange cubes. I could have alternatively done some damage to him, but I feel like getting the orange cubes off the board will keep us alive, and we might be able to really like deal 10 damage to him at a go, you know. Although it is nice that he's right next to us right now. But all right, is that okay?
Right.
So
yeah.
first action.
Do your first action. I'll do my first action.
Sorry, I'm getting 4 of these guys. 2, 4. Because you can just carry like an army of these into battle, right? Like you can just...
Yeah, and you probably should. Okay, so I am just moving 2 straight into here.
Okay.
And that ends an action, so I pick up this.
Okay.
And which means I get this card.
I don't like that.
Whenever you play experience, double its emblems.
What's experience?
It's going to be one of the cards. It's
I see. Okay.
Okay, that was my first action. Sorry, yeah, this is near
it.
me, and this is discarded.
Okay, and then...
Second action. Remember, we don't have to go in this order, but it doesn't matter since we're...
Okay. And then we do...
And remember, you don't have to bring those people with you.
Yeah.
And, sorry, last reminder, having lots of them in one place is a risk, but it does give you superpowers.
Okay, so, well, I need to do... In order to get rid of those 2 guys, I need to do...
2 swords for each guy.
4. So this is 2.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 more would be 4. So I could bring these 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to spend 2. So I'm going to bring 4 with me. I'll leave 1 in the Coliseum.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Bring as many as you want.
Okay. So sorry, I moved,
moved
with nimble.
Okay. And I am also moving. I'm moving 1 space to the watchtower.
Okay. And then I'm
That's
going to use
my
this.
next action.
I'll take it, please.
What's this? What's this over here?
I don't know. It's inspiring, though. And then I'm going to use this thing and 2 of these guys to kill the 2-1.
Okay, nice. All right. And I am using 3 stars to recruit 3 people to this space.
You're not going to kill those?
Nope. They're not doing any damage now, and I don't
Unless
have
they
enough
move.
strength to really...
Okay, and it's at the end of the round. Okay, so now we do end of the round stuff. Take that.
And those guys are strong. Okay, so we've done our actions. I could use my rule book just to make sure I'm not missing anything, but we're basically doing end of round. Where did my rule book go? Did you steal it from me?
I did.
There's something... I
Enjoyable
almost like
learning.
rules better than actual playing the game, so having it near me is very comforting. Okay, end of round. One defense, and there's no oranges. There's no purples in the thing. And there's nothing with more than 5 bad guys.
Perfect.
So nothing happens. We're doing great.
Begin the next round.
Start
And
of
the
round.
advances.
Draw a card and decide where he
He
goes.
goes to the vault. When he gets to the vault, we put 2 guys in the thing with him, and we can transform anybody, right?
Why did you do that? Oh yeah, if there are warriors in the region, transform them.
Got it.
Otherwise, 2 orange. Yep.
Got it.
So the orange keep coming out,
Yep.
and the purples only come where we leave
Got it.
people. Okay, and now we draw another card and do what it says.
This is very threatening. Deploy 3 orange
Look
to
at
the
that. You're
library.
right there, ready to find them.
Hey, look at that.
Okay.
Okay, what next? Then we go
Okay.
into planning.
Now we got our step. Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, right?
You took 2 for yourself. It's only 2
2
cards.
each. I believe that's the case.
You know, the rules could tell you, like, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't hurt if they just had the number of cards, but
It was 2 each, and then we each get 3. That's what it was, right?
the battle begins, we get 3, and
Yeah,
in
right.
strategize, we get 2. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Confident and persistent. All right, I have to remember I have this experience. I didn't find any experience,
Okay.
but I'm gonna fight these guys now. So
And it's whenever you play, so that's only your hand.
Just me,
Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, there's 3 of these guys here, so I should probably murder them. I have 3 swords. I mean, it would be good, honestly. See, now I'm wasting my free movement. Her extra action is meaningless, useless.
And I can
I should've started with a
can
relic.
drop a guy into your thing. Yeah, the relics is what I thought you were
Okay,
gonna
so
pick.
she's... Well, I saw that I have to pick these up, so I thought moving would be good, but now I see moving is not good. In the planning phase, anyway. Or the strategizing phase.
yeah.
Okay, so, I mean, I'm here, so I should just kill those guys, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And you should pick
And
this
then
up
I'm going to
at
use
some
the
point.
Swift because it's 4 movement.
You know what? This would be nice for you to pick up. But if you got 4 movement, maybe you should travel far and get.
So
some-
what I'll do actually, I'll go 1, 2, 3. I'll use my 4 move to go over here if I get a good fight card for him.
And remember, having these early, there's no help. Like having that sword charged up does nothing for us. We just have to have it at the
Right.
very end.
So can you
Would you like a warrior?
Yeah, why don't you give me another warrior?
Yeah, I mean, you take one, I'll take one, and I'm going to spend them because this is dangerous having so many.
let's-
So I think
let's just keep getting rid of them.
So I'm going to fight these people. I need books to fight them. So I'm going to fight. I'm going to kill. I need 6. I'm going to kill them all with these books. So my first action, I'm going to kill all of these people.
Okay.
And then with this stupid thing, I'm going to get some extra cards to see for the battle plan, which is worse. So I'm probably not even going to use this. Okay, I'm going to kill these guys on my first turn. Let's take my next one. Remember, this isn't locked in. These come
Yeah.
up.
And you need 4 to deal a damage. Okay, so
Oh, and right now we're not allowed to talk. Like that's
Correct.
a weird thing.
yeah, it's kind of silly.
It is kind of annoying too because now.
That's because it's whenever we play these games that have a planned action, like we played Room 25, where it's like you have to coordinate. I'm going, and then when you put a wrinkle in there, it really.
Especially for us, because we really like to
to
talk out
discuss
our
that.
plans, and it hurts that we
All
can't.
right, I'm locked in.
Okay, I'm almost.
I mean, there's
locked
so
in.
few choices at the moment, right? Like
Yeah.
that, I don't feel like I need to. I'm just not flipping them over. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Is that
with
right?
me.
Let me see.
Okay, those are okay. Wait, did I do my deploying? Did I give you?
Yeah, I took mine. You took yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right. Yes, we did. Okay.
Sometimes
All right.
I go too fast for gestation. I gotta slow down.
It does happen.
Okay. So, I figure I'm gonna kill these guys. I'm gonna. I was gonna move.
Just do your first action. You don't get to even mess
Wait,
with
don't
your
tell.
action.
Oh shoot!
It's too late. You're locked
okay,
in.
no, whatever.
I'll do my thing while you're working out. I'm gonna fight these guys with books, corrupted Amazons. I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 3 each. Okay, and these are gone. Okay, that was my first action.
Okay, I'm gonna do 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, that was a little bit. I kind of did. I did something wrong, but that's okay.
As my second action, I'm recruiting 3 Amazon warriors into my space, please.
3 Amazon
3
warriors?
whites.
Okay, then I'm gonna go. 1. Oh, actually, wait. Where am I? 1, 2, 3. I'll do that.
Hello? Oh, if you're just talking to those
I
people?
killed them. Sorry, I killed them with my first action. Sorry. I should have, for the sake of the, sorry. For the sake of the, I had, I believe, confident. So I spent that and my warriors to eliminate them. And then my second action, I'm going 1, 2, 3. I'm using the walk emblem, and I'm picking this up so it charges it. So I should.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
I need to.
You're getting new
to
things.
explain what I'm doing a little better. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Now it's
Not just for the viewers, for
Jessica.
me. We frequently play a game, and in the beginning of the night, Greg's like, okay, I'm going to do this, now this. By the end of the night, Greg's like, okay, I've already taken my 5. I've already done the 5 steps.
Well, we just
Give
did
me the
7
change.
continent, and it was like it was just on and on of like after like 5 hours of that game, you're kind of like, let's get
But
it.
I'm like, really, like, even if it's a thing where, like, if there's some game that it's like, pay 10, but get 2 back, or you get 10, but you have to pay 2, and the person's like, all right, give me the 8. I'm like, no. First you get your 10, and then you give me your 2. Like, I like to do everything. Okay, I'm just walking for 4 with my people. And I thought maybe we'd... See, the thing is, we don't know
Can
where
you
he's going to
backtrack?
move. Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I don't have enough anyway.
So, like, I was thinking maybe we could go together somewhere, but we don't know where he's going to come out. But I want to go somewhere... I just want to go somewhere.
So...
you know what? I'll go to that orange. So you can traverse and look for your stuff. I'm going to go with my people. 1, 2, 3.
So
Right, like
is this considered? Can I, if I move with the strategize and move one region, I can't pick this up if it's like the end of my action.
That's a great question. I believe you can. If you moved and ended your turn, sure. If you
That's
use
not a
that to
turn.
move, I mean, it's not a turn. If you end an action in the thing, you might want to look here. Look at in the back. There's an appendix of power. So look at her power. Diana's ability. Maybe used before. Well, it's considered a move action. There you go.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go 1, 2.
What?
Three.
You're doing a third action. Okay.
You did yours, right?
Yep. I moved myself.
Okay, so I'm gonna move with her thing, and then I'll be able to pick up that other.
That's a
charge.
great idea.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll actually get something out of it.
I feel like we should be hitting this guy.
End around.
Okay, end of round, we lose one defense for that, and that's it.
Okay.
Right.
And then the next round starts. We do this.
He moves to
Temple of Aphrodite.
Okay. All the way down here.
And then that brings 2 guys out.
Yep.
If it doesn't convert them, it brings us.
Right.
And we draw this card. This is very formidable. Deploy
2 orange to wherever he is.
Okay, that's a lot of guys. And then.
Oh, good. We've got our first purple action. So now notice what it says, because this is going to be happening. They head automatically towards the palace. So now we know, because we're penalized when they get into the palace, that having them near the palace is dangerous state. But the oranges may not move or do stuff.
Okay, so, I mean, in the strategize phase, I'm going to move here, and I'm going to grab that, right?
It's not a bad idea. However, I double emblems if you're in the enemy's region. So if on one of our actions you think you might be able to fight this guy, I could double your emblems.
So
like, what if if we coordinated this so that we're in the same space to fight him? I've got 4 swords.
Do you think there's 4 walks? Yes. So if I were to be able to get another one of these swifts, which is with the 4 walk. So
1, 2. You only need 3 to get them.
I know.
Oh, but you want to be here.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Oh, it's time. You're gonna do your free action. I
so
see, right.
if I do my free action, I'll be able to pick this up. But if I don't, I could go 1, 2, 3 with my first action, and then I mean you could double my emblems, which is 3, right? If I had this, which would be 6, but I would still need 2. Which, I'll get another one of these. You'll be able to give me another one of those. So that I could actually do 2 points of damage.
Not only that, but I'll be able to do 4 points of damage to him. So on our second action...
Okay, so I'm not going to move on my thing then.
Forget it. We'll get it later. We got the whole game to get this. I know. But so on our second action, I'm going to double your emblems. And we're going to fight him.
This is a situation where, like, I'm thinking, like, is it worth risking in those 3 cards of getting a 4? Because then I could move down there quite easily.
I just feel like since
first of all, both Swifts in here have 4 movement. So in those 3 cards, would I get another Swift? I wonder what the assortment is.
I mean, I wouldn't risk it. It feels like it's a weird mechanic that these don't help you at all. So I feel like by the end of the game, you're going to get those automatically. It's not worth the work,
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's probably worthwhile eliminating these guys.
Well, we could change our mind and attack those guys. It's true. Okay, but either way, if I meet you down here on the second action, I'll double your emblems. So on the second action, be here.
If I draw Swift.
It's like a date.
If I draw Swift.
No, not if even if you don't draw a Swift. Let's use my power right away. I'll put 1 in each of our places. I think this is let's do a real attack on him. Let's bring all our people there.
So
kill him.
You can go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, I'm gonna move 4.
How do you move 4? You can't move 4.
I can't move 4.
Perfect. I'm going here.
But
you don't have a 4.
I might get a 4 though.
I might get a 4 too.
Okay, tell you what. We'll meet there on our third action. How's that?
If we both draw 4s.
No. You can walk there with 2. With 2 cards, you could surely get 4.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
And I'll do the same thing. So we're meeting down there.
Sure. Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, yeah, 3 each.
So be there and by that.
Maybe. Well, you can't tell me, so this is where it's going to be. Okay, first of all, I got a Battle Tiara.
Oh, okay.
Whenever you play Resourceful, double its emblems. Oh, wow, that's kind of cool.
All right, so you want to throw it away or do you want to discover it?
Why would I? Oh, I see. No, we're going to discover it.
Okay.
So can you put the Battle Tiara there? And I'm not sure. I mean, I guess it's magic, but I mean, why else would it? Okay.
Okay. Don't get distracted.
I can't tell you.
You can't walk through it, by the way. You can't pick it up if you walk through it.
I understand that.
That's very interesting.
I'm locked in.
I'm trying to decide whether I should... Wow. Okay, this might be a controversial...
Can you only double things once, you said? Is that what you said?
Each card can only be doubled once per thing. Alright, I made my decisions. Ready?
Yep.
I'm doing one at a time.
Okay.
No, I won't. No.
Yeah, this is stupid.
It's stupid.
Okay, I'm gonna go. May I go first?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna walk 2. 1, 2. That'll allow me to pick up this.
Okay. There's your battle tiara. I do like the art. It's nice and clean.
Yeah, it's clean. I like it. I think it's good. All right, now we both got a little thing. That doubles my resourcefuls, which I have in the end, by the way. You do your first.
As my first action, I'm gonna leave these oranges here and go 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it's a little bit controversial.
Oh, because you can do a point of damage to him on its own.
That's right.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna do. That takes care of that. Then I'm gonna walk 3. 1, 2. I only need 2. Now we got a whole. Look at this big pile of warriors.
Yeah. Let's do damage on
Okay,
it.
and that's nimble.
Okay.
You do your second action.
As my second action, I'm gonna fight him, and I can do 1 damage from this.
And then you can get rid of 4 warriors.
And I could get rid of 4 Yeah, let's get rid of another 4 warriors to do another one. So that's
1,
2.
2. Okay.
That's
Okay.
that.
And then I'm gonna fight resourceful,
Oh,
which
okay.
I can double its emblem, so I don't.
You
even
can
need-
double them? That's fantastic. So
I don't
you're
need
doubling them. Oh, so I can't.
It doesn't matter. It's either way.
We did this whole thing to meet together.
It doesn't matter
You got
because
it.
I didn't know I was gonna be able to get
That's
that.
right.
So-
Well,
It doesn't.
one other hero. I can't do it to
doesn't
myself. Some of the cards you can do yourself.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I'm using swords and attack.
So-
We're not teaming up, by the way. This is interesting. We have to use the same emblem when we team up. So I can't, like, if I had 3
What
and
is
you
it? It
had
doesn't
6.
help us to team up here.
Not in this case.
Okay.
No.
So this is 6. 8.
You used 2 of my warriors.
Well, there are warriors. They're in.
They came
Yeah, but I
with
mean,
me.
they're here. I mean, they're just here.
I know, but they are.
But I happen to know this guy. We got some beers together in the palace, and I met this guy.
It's not a guy. It's not a guy. I got a little
What? Oh,
spoiler.
I said guy in like a generic sense, but yes, I should have said this woman.
I've
I
got
did this
4.
Hold on. So that's. So we got all distracted. That's 6, 7, 8, which is 2 points of damage, or beating up Ares.
Now, this is an interesting thing. I have swords, so I actually could kill a couple of these guys.
I think it's only worth it if you kill all 4 of them. It doesn't, because if you think about it for a moment, you're going to start here again, but Ares is not going to be here.
Like it.
Right?
Thinking.
I mean, and you're not. If you can't eliminate all of them, they're going to do a deal of point of damage to that area.
I agree. All right, so I'm going to spend my
4
4.
to do a point of damage.
Right.
Look at that! I got the satisfaction of moving it down to 13. Oh, and guess what? I ended my movement here, so I got this too.
That's fantastic.
Forgot about that. Look at that. Okay, ready?
Ready. End of round. 1, 2 damage for our oranges.
And we
Now,
start-
notice there's no way to bring that up. It's a very simplified.
deploy 2.
Nope.
Oh, sorry. He goes to the gardens.
Gardens.
And when he gets to the gardens, he changes them, but he doesn't have anybody change, so he brings 2 warriors.
Yep.
And then we do this one, which is a really threatening card. Deploy 3 to the woods. Now we're getting a lot of these cubes coming out. We're
Yeah.
going to start pounding around.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we each get 2 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? That's my tiara. I'm going to put it on this side.
Okay, well, I don't have any swords to attack those, and we're out of warriors. That's a little scary.
Okay, well, I get to... Oh, that's not a... I have this. You can't double anything? Or,
I
well,
can
you're gonna,
double my experience.
now, can you... Will you add 2, or is you may deploy 1 where up to 2 different regions? Oh, different regions with your...
But if you use your thing to move first, these do combo nicely, because if you move out of the space, then I
Yeah,
can...
I think I will, actually. I can actually... So I'm going to use... Okay, so I'll move during the strategize phase.
And then I'll
It'll
bring
give us
one...
each person.
Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't.
So now you don't have enough. You'll have to wait till you get a...
I don't have enough if I mean, I'm never going to have enough to kill all those, but
So
maybe
look,
I should.
I'm gonna play this first because I'm here. It'll double. That'll be 6, right? And then I'll...
Oh, you're gonna make lots of people. It does seem like
Yeah,
making
then I'm
people
gonna
is good.
move up here, and then I'll whatever I get, I'll fight then. I'm stuck on this like thing where I just seem to want.
I almost feel like this 4 is like it's maybe just let it blow up like
2.
pandemic and go to where I can actually do some. 'Cause I got 3. I could go 1, 2, 3. I could actually get down there and
By
then
the way,
start getting rid
so
of things.
I'm just going to tell you right now that I'm going to put 6 guys out here. Women, sorry. I'm going to put 6 women out. Warriors, okay? And then I'm going to go up there and I'm going to do... Oh, I have to move. Ooh. So I'll move. Okay, so I'll move and then I'll have to fight with some of them. So you might be able
You're
to.
You're going to fight here?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if I join you there, actually, we can combine our things.
We don't need to be joining. I can carry these warriors, and I'll leave some warriors for you so you can.
Oh, that would be nice.
You know. So can you backtrack? Can you like move in, move in?
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually play a movement card.
Yeah.
If I go first, I'll generate a bunch of warriors. You play a movement, come up and go back down, and you'll be able to carry enough warriors to kill all those guys.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You don't need them for these people?
Well, I'll need some, but I'll have to see how many, what kind of fight card I get, which I don't know.
Well, but I don't have swords. I only have books.
Out of those 3 cards, you've got to draw a sword.
Yeah, I don't think.
So
wait, I got these. These are just must be discards.
Okay.
It's hard to every time I have my extra cards I don't use, I throw them off to the side. I'm sure you'll be surprised to hear that.
I'm always cleaning up after Jesse. That's like Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always picking up after you boys. So between the 2 of us, depending on what we draw, we'll divvy up the warriors to see how many where we can wipe them out. How's that?
You're gonna bring them all out.
I'm gonna get 6, which will be 7, and you've got 2 on there, so that's 9.
I think
so I feel like that's gonna be enough.
Okay.
Right? I'll put these down. You like it? So our general plan before we do this is I'm definitely gonna recruit, move, and fight. That's my plan.
And I'm thinking
move, fight. Yeah.
I'm thinking I might leave these here and go and clean up these because if I can't kill all 4, I might just try to get rid of these.
Okay, but
2.
as a general plan, I think killing these 4.
If I can kill all 4 in one turn, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll kill these guys.
Okay. But remember, there's gonna be 6 warriors here.
That's great. Oh, relic. We're getting our relics quickly.
Training grounds. Well,
let's definitely
get the
discover
bracers.
it. Mm-hmm.
They're over here. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what do they do?
Obstacles may not deploy to your region.
We haven't even seen any obstacles.
Warriors in your region may not be replaced. Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Okay. Well. Interesting. All right, I know I'm done. I'm not a big fan of programmed games.
Yeah, no. Why do I only have 1 extra action?
Because one of them was bracers.
There you go. That's right.
Ready? Okay, so I got a 3
I
fight.
wanted to quickly clarify. You asked me twice if we can backtrack, and I've said very confidently yes. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it just says spend to move to an adjacent region. Nothing about not being able to backtrack.
All right, so may I go first?
Sure.
Okay. I'm doing resourceful, but I've got my battle tiara, so I'm doubling it, which is going to give me 2, 4, 5, 6 warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to need, so they're 2 each. I have 3. I'm going to take 3 with me. So if you come in here and take 4, that'll give you 6.
I'm not going back.
Why not?
Back. Because I'm going to have some extra stuff to kill him, to do a damage on him.
What? I thought the whole plan was to murder some of these guys.
I'm going to murder these. And
you don't want to eliminate all these guys? We can't. This is never going back up.
This is just giving us 1 movement. So whether I do this or this, I'm going to stop it from 1. I'd rather do this.
Okay.
So I am moving 3. Taking these guys with me. 1.
Nope. Those are mine.
2.
But do you have an abundance? Because actually, you could leave me with 1 more, I guess, so I have 1 with me. No, that's all right. You can take it. If it'll help you, take it. We're a team. Take the warriors.
I mean, you're going to spend all yours? I probably won't spend.
I'm going to spend all.
But it... Yeah, okay, that's fine.
You could figure it out real fast.
Actually, you're going to...
You probably could just figure it out real fast by looking, Jesse.
That's right.
Okay, now I'm going to move up here. Your second action?
I'm using my swords.
Always cleaning up after you boys.
I'm doing 3, 4 to kill these 2.
I'll clean it.
That was confidence.
Okay, and then I'm going to attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, which kills all the guys in the woods.
Nice. Okay.
Soldiers in the woods.
I'm using experienced. I'm going to use my books to attack him.
You doubled it.
So I double it. So I've got 6,
7,
7, 8.
You
That's
could have
2
left
hits
me
on
with
him.
some guys. Okay, you want, look at that. I get to do it again. So we're well on pretty good.
We are.
Okay, end
We
around.
are.
We'll lose 1, 2.
Right,
Which is
1,
bad.
2. Uh-huh. Just
And
not,
then
not
we go to
that
the
bad.
next round.
Mhm.
He's going to go to the barracks, which brings out 2. And then
So
we're
far,
gonna
he
go
hasn't.
deploy 3 to the shore. Sure, I'll do that. Boy, this is See, now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, here's what I was saying about this would have been better. Because now you have to go all the way back here now.
Yeah, but basically, it's 1, 2, it's just 3. It's like still 1 action.
Okay.
One of us should go get that training grounds. One of us is close to it.
Boy, this is too bad. If this is my first action, I can double it, but I can't really. It doesn't do anything for me. That's a bummer. Adaptables too.
I'm gonna walk and get those bracers. Since you don't need to go there, you need your sword.
Yeah, this is a crap thing because like I'm not 1 away from anything. It's not. I mean, I'm
kind of in the.
depending on what I draw is going to really depend on what I do because
This is normal thing where Greg's like, this is the most important thing, and then he's like, you got to do this, and then after I don't do it, Greg's like, yeah, I don't got to.
Well,
do it.
no,
You
because
might
I'm just
do
saying I'm just saying I don't. My cards right now are not compelling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's 2 to get down here. I only have 1 soldier, warrior, soldier warrior. Doesn't matter. And like so, if I go 1, 2, I don't have enough to do it. If I get a resourceful that has 4 fight, then yeah, I could do it. Actually, you're going to give me 1 warrior, so if I get a experience card that
and you get a free move.
yes, but I mean, I still have to spend a move to go down there, so it's almost pointless, right?
I think I was gonna go get those bracers, but I
First
think
of
maybe
all,
it's more important to get rid of some of those orange regions.
I think okay, so
because they're really starting to.
I do-
This 4 per turn we would drop if we
yeah,
don't.
I agree, but I'm also kind of like almost compelled in a way to say, I mean, if I go here and get this last thing,
Forget that thing. Wait till there's
just
bad
hold on,
guys
hold
in
on,
there.
hold on. If I go down there to get that thing, we just have to do. Well, I guess we need 11,
Yeah, and it
which
doesn't
is
help us kill 'em.
44 worth, which is too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to eliminate some of these guys. So depending on what I draw, I'm gonna come down here and kill one of these guys. Yeah.
And I'm gonna go up here and try to do this because then if I happen to draw some cards that let me also fight him while I'm doing this, I'll do that. So my plan is to walk up there and
Okay, Can we give ourselves these guys? Yeah.
walk up there.
I'm giving
and,
us warriors. Yeah.
Sure. Actually, that doesn't. Yeah, I'm gonna walk.
I'm gonna
up
come
there.
down and kill one of these sets. Okay. Depending on what I draw.
One of the sets, yes.
I'm gonna. Because
And remember to
what I drew
look
here is
for
useless.
your thing that you get to
Here's a lasso.
double up.
True.
Wow,
Goes to the vault.
we got really lucky. I guess we didn't get that lucky. We're
Vault.
almost done with it. The lasso of
Where is the vault?
her
Oh, here it is.
favorite, one of her favorite weapons.
What does that thing do?
Makes people tell the truth. Greg.
I know, but what does it do in the game?
When moving, you may choose one type of obstacle to move with you. Obstacle is any of the bad
really?
things.
Huh.
It's not just the blockade. Yeah,
No
it's
kidding.
the generic term for the bad thing.
Well, oh, I only have I did the same thing you did. I'm like, I only have 2 cards.
Okay. Okay, that's not a bad. Yeah, okay, I got mine.
Yeah, I really don't like what I've got here. My situation is poor. Okay, yeah, I got a really bad draw, so I'm only gonna be able to do this. I was really tempted to try to come up here and just beat him, but I have to. We have to get some of these off the board.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Sure.
Going down. Oh wait, sorry. Getting 2 warriors. Go ahead.
I am moving 4 with these people. I'm gonna go 1, 2. I'm just gonna go 2.
Okay. Then I'm going to move 2. Just here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2 of them in the last year. Okay.
All right. I'm doubling. I could double the emblems if you were in the hero space. You're not.
See, if we were able to talk about
hero.
that, I would have just probably come up there and I could have hit him.
Oh, I didn't know it. Right. I didn't know I was going to get this. But I am going to attack both of those oranges, 2
4
each, and get rid of both of them.
Okay. And I'm going to spend 2 to fight, which is 1. And I'm going to spend all my warriors, and I'm going to get rid of these.
Okay.
I mean, I got to wipe out something, right?
I've got 2 sword, but it doubles if it's my 3rd action. So 4, let's do 1 damage down.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Okay, end of round. 1,
1,
2
2.
regions.
Okay, and then start again. He goes to the
shore.
Yeah, sure. Right where I am. Hey, now it would have been great if I would have had that double the bold. That would have been like much better.
Well, maybe another one. All right.
All right, now we got move areas
to the closest hero. He's already there.
And replace all warriors in that region with.
Wow, it's lucky you didn't have any.
Okay, each hero in the region must move 1 region away if able. That's fine. I'm on my first turn. I'm just going to strategize. I'm just going to move back. Very volatile card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that's experience. I think I was supposed to do that last time. I totally forgot I had one of these, I think.
Draw cards into your battle plan?
Yeah, I think I had that persistent.
Well, you can take 2 cards.
Well, I don't remember.
It seems annoying to me. That card annoys me.
Jesse, I just screwed up. I'm going to put it at 13 because I can't remember what it was at. I just hit it with the...
You know, it's ironic that you have we have cameras. You think, okay, that would let us rewind and watch, but actually you can't.
No.
So.
Okay. So what's your...
Well, I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna leave that guy for you now. It's not time for me to do that. I'm gonna take care of those oranges and get the lasso.
I'm gonna move 1. You're gonna give me a warrior, and you're gonna take a warrior. Right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so I'm actually... if you take care of them, we just go down 1. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think what I'll do is I'll just beat on him for my whole turn, and hopefully I get resourcefuls or one of those bolds, and then I'll be able to really...
Is that a command place? Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm going to move and fight these guys and pick up this, and if I can generate some stuff before doing that.
So we're kind of doing our own thing.
Although, yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to get a sword. I don't have a sword
here.
yet.
It doesn't matter.
Just
might
leave
as well
them.
be.
Just
They
leave
might
them.
as well be 10. I mean, 1. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That's easy enough.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Discard. I'll go first this time.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to recruit 3.
Got it. 3's in there. And it's my turn. This is my first action, double the action, so that's 4. So we're going to take him down to 1.
Nice.
Your turn.
As my second action, I'm moving to right down into the vault. And I'll take that lasso, if you don't mind. When moving, you can choose an obstacle to move with you. Okay.
I'm just like, ching, ching, ching. I can't do the Wonder Woman because I don't have the bracers. So I'm just like, I'm headbutting him with my battle tiara over and over.
Battle tiara.
I didn't get that resourceful. That's what I really wanted. But it's like, okay, then I'm going to just do this again. This is 4. So I'm just going to do another point of damage. Your turn.
I'm going to sword up these bad servants of war. That's 3. I need 4 to do both of them, so I'll just use one of mine. Now, if I get a thing
Oh
that
my
turns those
God.
guys bad, we're
You
in
are
bad
in
shape.
major problems. Okay.
And now I draw 2 cards into my battle plan for the next round. Now,
I'm just
persistent.
gonna-
Let me see if that gets face up or not. Add 2 cards face down to your battle plan for the next round. So I'll just gives me more choices for the next round, but you don't get to see them.
'em, right.
But I guess I don't get to open them up
All right,
even.
so I'm gonna use 3, 4, and it's just gonna do another point of damage.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Ready?
I feel like we got this
End
game
around,
well in
I
hand.
lose 1. Right?
Yeah.
Beginning of the round, he goes to the shore, which is where he's at,
Wow.
and that adds 2. Oh, did I add 2 to here when he moved? Oh, so I should have added 2.
Maybe did we forget to
Hold
move
on,
it?
save this first.
Yeah, you always add 2.
There's
Unless
no
there
worries
and
with this one.
there were no warriors, but I
So-
don't. We
so
may
there
have forgotten
should've-
to
yeah,
add
so
2.
there
Okay.
should have been 2 more.
Okay.
So we're gonna bring it down another 1.
Okay.
Did I do that? I feel like I'm not doing that. Wasn't it at 11 already?
Remember, you knocked it off.
I feel like it penalizes 2.
Okay.
But if we lose by 2, we'll be.
I don't
we
think.
can win
I don't. As long as we keep it above the 3,
I mean,
it won't be.
I've erred on the side of caution by moving
Uh-huh.
us down twice,
Mhm.
maybe unnecessarily. Deploy 1 blockade all roads out of regions with 2 or more.
Oh, that's interesting. It's
So
the
I
first
can't
time we've
actually.
seen
I
that.
can't leave here now.
You can't leave that.
How do I get rid of this?
Well, look on your thing. For 3 footsteps, you can remove a blockade.
Oh, I see. Okay. That's interesting. So I'm stuck here. So I'm like stuck with areas.
Yeah, and you can't use your power anymore.
Okay. 1, 2. I guess that's true.
All right. While you're shuffling that, I'm gonna give you a little
Please do.
Amazon
I can't
warrior,
walk, so-
and I guess I'm gonna take one for myself. But where is he down there? And I can't even get there. All right. Well, that's tricky.
No, you can get. So 1, 2, 3. It's gonna cost you 1, 2, 3 to get here, and then you can remove a blockade.
I can.
But then you couldn't move in and fight. I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
it's
could
just
remove
not
that
gonna be a
blockade, and
very
I
good
could get.
action.
Oh no, I know how to do it.
Yeah, one of us could remove the blockades for the
Yes.
other on our first
Or-
action. It's gonna have to be you. You'd have to remove that blockade,
If
so
I
that
remove
I can
blockade,
walk
1,
in there
2,
with all those
3,
people
4.
and attack
If you
him.
get you can use these to walk too. Can't you?
Yes, you could use those to
yeah.
help
Okay.
you.
So use whatever you get. If you get a 1, 2, 3, you spend that,
right.
and then you spend 1 to move into here. I'll go first and get rid of the blockade if I
Right.
can.
Right. So on my first action, I'll get into here with a
With a
boatload
pile of,
of
those guys,
Amazons.
and then we're gonna use all them to, all the warriors and all our stuff to just beat on him.
I love it.
I don't even think we need to worry about anything else,
I love it.
right?
I love it.
Okay, so here's provided we get the right cards, which you should get some good
I've
cards.
got
2 extra.
spares, so
Boy, that's powerful. Double this card's emblems if it's your third action. Okay, well that's for sure. But you have something that that was a card you had that allowed you to oh yeah, you had this one before. Well, look at that. Okay, so the problem here is, Jesse, is that I have no ability as right now to get rid of this blockade. 1, 2, 3. So if
and
you,
there's no you can't recruit more people.
no. So I
You
think
need
you
3
should.
footsteps. Wait,
you-
you've got 2 footsteps. You just need one more. There you go. There's your 3 footsteps.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense. But that sucks because that's my. Okay, I'll put that there if I have to, but I would prefer to leave it there.
But
if I
all we know is on my turn,
Yeah.
that's going to be clear.
Okay,
And
at least I'll be able to do that.
and I will be able to walk in there.
Okay.
And
So
then and then can you use this on your second action? That's perfect. If this is your 2nd action, you'll be doubling my emblems for attacking, which right now is going to be this. So we're going to be able to do a lot of damage on him this round.
yeah.
All right, let me pick up this now.
Okay.
So remember, you can use any symbol to attack him. So whatever is strongest.
Okay. Okay. We can't kill him this turn because we don't have this sort of Hephaestus charged up.
Good point. Maybe now it's time for you to go get those things.
Well, I've done all of them but one. I mean, it makes sense that like you could just stay in the space with him and just beat on him for all you would worth, you know. But then, you know, this forces you to move around the board some more and clean things up. All right, ready?
Okay. Yeah.
What
was that?
Whoa! I was like one of those like shuffles where you. Okay, so.
By the way, let's remember when we talk about our review about how terrible this is the fact of how easy it is to knock it off. Like a little clip on the side, or a better way to keep track.
Well, right. I wonder. Well, this is just as easy to knock around.
Yeah, you need something.
All right, so I'm going to use Swift to remove this. So I'm like, I kill all the guys there. I'm like, get out of there! It's for. I don't know. I know we're in like Grecian times, but I have a walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
Mala, I've eliminated the watchtower guard.
Maybe it's built into your tiara, like a little transmission.
No. This isn't a communication tiara. It's a battle tiara.
Well, get out your other tiara. Okay, Swift 4. I'm just moving 4 with everyone down to
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Okay. So now we have at our mutual disposal. See how I did that? We've got 2, 4, 6.
We've just put this. This is like left to burn.
Like there's like a bunch of scribes in the Temple of Aphrodite. Oh no, they're not scribes in Aphrodite. Maybe that's why these 4 soldiers are down there. They're hanging out in the Temple of Aphrodite. Why leave?
Okay, second action.
All right, so double the emblems of one other hero in the enemy's region. So you should fight him with this 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you're doubling this to 8.
Wait. But this stays here.
Yeah, you can use it however you want, but it's also doing that.
Okay.
You use it however you want.
I'm doubling your thing, but I'm knocking a point off.
You're doing your 4. You're doubling my 4 to an 8.
So I should have just do this.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So no, I want to leave
16.
I want to leave 1 for this.
Okay, so
it's 8, 9,
hold on.
10.
Let's just do it this way. 1, 2 is for the 8 from the card. Okay, and then you're going to use 4 more to do 1.
Well, before we do that, put those 4 more back. Let me do this way. I could also get rid of those oranges. No, just go for the kill?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 more to go there.
Yeah.
And then I want to save 1 to help this.
Yeah, which is fine.
And then you could save 2 to help it on that.
Oh, I need 1 as well.
You need 2, right?
This
you can
3.
use that. That's right.
Okay, so now it's my turn again. Let's get rid of these. That was Swift. Okay, I'm gonna use my
just for the fun
with my battle tiara.
Oh, wait,
one warrior.
No, don't do it that way. Just for the
6.
for the fun.
I need 2.
Just for fun, let's team up. Let's both use our swords.
No, this is worth 6.
Oh, because you can double it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll.
No. Oh yeah.
I mean, no. I should.
What happens?
But we add our emblems together. So 6, 7, 8.
Does that? Can I double the?
No, you can't double.
So 6, 8.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it kind of does because it doesn't really matter. No, it doesn't matter.
No.
So if I were to spend 1, actually, it's better not to. This is 3 is 6, 7, 8.
Right, and then
3, 4. No, don't double them because we'll still have 1 warrior left over if we don't double. Okay, so I'm gonna headbutt him with my battle tiara, which is 3 times 2 is 6, 7, 8 with these 2 warriors, right? I'm gonna knock him for 2.
And then I'm fighting him with my sword,
which
plus
is
1.
3 is 4. Okay, so he's at 1 life.
Right.
We can't actually kill him because I don't have the sword.
That's right.
Charge. We couldn't kill him anyway, by the way. Okay, so now at the end of the round, we're gonna lose 2, which we're fine with. Right. Now we go to this one.
Yep.
Right. He goes to the Temple of Aphrodite, which adds 2 soldiers. Or what are they called? Servant of Wars. Okay. And then we do this. Move areas to the closest hero. Okay. Replace all warriors in that region with purple. With
it's the first time that's happened
Amazon.
to us.
You corrupted our Amazon. That was one of the people you brought. I just want you to know that. I'm a bro.
Then we each have to leave 1 space, which puts us here.
Okay. I don't care about that. That's fine with me.
You need to go get that sword because
Yes.
we're just biding time for that.
All right, you ready?
Okay, wait. We'll have to do our penalties. End of round. We have to move
already.
This.
Didn't I?
Well, if you did, he's got 6. So
it doesn't matter.
1, 2. No. Also, any place with 5 or more loses 3. So drop us 3.
Okay. First of all, there were 4 there.
Oh, till he did his thing.
This is in the beginning of the round.
Okay. So if we don't do this now.
All right. So I'm gonna in the strategizing. I'm gonna move, and you're gonna give each of us 1, right?
Yes.
I mean,
you're moving. Oh, because you've got to get
This is
there.
face up, so it's okay.
Right. So we're ready to kill him, but this is doing 3. I might, since I've got nothing to do while you get that, I'll go do this.
All right. Let's see.
I got to find a way to do that.
All right. Listen. Oh, this doesn't matter. 2 or more heroes played cards with the same name for this double their emblems, but I don't need it.
Yeah, with the 2-player game, it seems very hard to make that work. All right, I've got a problem. I don't have any footsteps to get rid of that green, but I have to assume that I'm going to get some. If I do get some.
So let me just point something out.
Mm-hmm.
If I move 2, 1, 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to get back to him, which is not likely.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would need just 4 pips to,
Right.
which is not likely, but it's possible.
Okay. Well, I'm going to assume that we're not going to...
Oh, no. I know. You should, if you can recruit here,
Yeah.
when I go back through, I'll bring the warriors with me, and I should be able to deal the last point of damage.
Well, I can... right now...
All you have to do is get rid of 2 of these, by the way,
Right.
and then we don't
But
care.
I also have to get rid of this blockade. So blockade, move, get rid of. So I could either blockade, move, get rid of, or recruit
If
for
you... Okay, look. So my first action is going to be adaptable. I'm going to go 1, 2, right?
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4. As long as I get a 3 footstep, I can use this to get in here.
Right, okay.
And all I need is 4 guys, soldiers, warriors, or whatever, to get in there and kill him. So 1. Oh no! I won't. Yeah.
Move.
If I get a 3 walk, I'll be able to get in there.
You actually wouldn't even have to be in there. You wouldn't even have to be able to kill him as long as you got in there, and I could help kill him.
No, it has to be killed by.
Well, we could team up if we had the same.
But I need to get at least 3 footsteps. So if I get 3 footsteps, we'll win this turn.
Because you've already got enough to get there.
No, I have enough to get here.
Right, you don't have enough to get that. That's what I meant.
So out of those 3 cards I get, one of them's got to be.
We can't talk.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, one of them's got to be.
But either way, we're probably not going to die on this turn, even if this stays. Everything stays where it is. So
we could just play it safe. We could just play it safe, and you
I'll
could go
try
down
to
here
recruit. I'll try to recruit and leave stuff for you, but
if you can.
But right now, I don't got great stuff here.
How many does this? This will drop us down 3, 4.
3, 4. That's exactly right.
Oh, you have the card over there. I mean, 4. So that's going to be 4. That's 5. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, but we'd kill him on the next thing. We don't even have to survive. We don't have to survive, right?
Can I?
We don't have to survive the end of the round.
Can I make another suggestion?
Yeah.
Instead of working on this, look at this. This is two things to get rid of this. Why don't instead you recruit, right, and move down there, and at the worst eliminate these, which will mean it will only lose 4 instead of.
Well, it's not. It's a pretty good plan to be down there, because then but you'll have to make it down there for us to be able to.
Let's hope so. So I think you plan on killing these guys to keep us a little more alive and ignore that just for another turn. Yeah.
I would tend to agree. I would tend to agree.
Okay. All right, I'm locked in.
It would have been nice if we discussed, like, if we were going to team up, what things would we use to fight. But I know you're going to be using your footsteps for movement.
Teaming up offers no benefit.
Well, it does. Like, if you have...
If I have 3 and you have 1...
That's right. It's not often.
It seems pointless. It's so hard to juggle that with not being able to talk about. Teaming up when you can't talk about teaming up is kind of silly.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Can I just tell you this, Jesse?
I am ready.
You can just take a nap.
Doesn't matter. It's all done.
Doesn't matter.
It's all done.
Okay, so my first action. Can I go first?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very adaptable, so I'm going to go 1, 2. And when I end my turn, I get to... I'm like... Ping!
What are you doing?
I'm panging. That's the universal noise for like forging a sword.
That's what Diana does?
Well, I'm collecting 4 blessings actually.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm recruiting 2 Amazons.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend my 3 plus my 1 warrior to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I should have doubled it. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna move down there. You're not even taking these Amazons.
Don't need them.
You don't
I
even
have
need
1
them.
point of damage is all I need.
Okay.
I
Well,
am
I'm
very
gonna
powerful.
move in here with you.
Oh, I can double your. Yeah.
Let's do it. We'll do it
So
together.
that was this. What is that?
That was this one.
Okay.
Okay.
And now.
And now we team up. We team up to use swords on him. So that's 3, but you've doubled it. So 6 plus 10.
No, this is 8. Oh no, no, sorry, it's not. Yeah, so
10, 11, 12, 13. So
1, 2, 3.
So we killed him. We've just finished playing our first game of Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons, and now we've played the introductory hero bad guy, and now we're gonna look at some of the other stuff in the game that we didn't play with. So let's start by looking at the heroes that we didn't play with.
Let's see. During the strategize phase, draw 2 additional face-down hero cards into your battle plan. Well, that's because first of all, this did her power. Well, let's talk about our characters maybe.
Okay, sure.
So Diana. I mean, her power definitely helped on a few occasions to move and be able to pick those things up or whatever. I used it. How many turns do you think this?
Well, it did help with this. Like these 2 together, it was minor, but it did let me put 2 Amazons out.
How many turns do you think this game went?
Maybe.
If this was accurate, 10. No, I think it was way less than that.
Yeah, maybe 7.
I wonder how many. Look and see how many cards are in the deck.
Is it really worth it? Let's see.
I'm just kind of curious because we could just do a quick.
60 hero cards.
So 12, maybe a little less than that. 10. Yeah, maybe that was about 10 turns. Yeah, that actually makes sense. About 10 turns.
Okay.
So I think maybe I used, or I don't know. Maybe
it was a quick game.
Between 8 or 10 turns. Maybe I used it 4 or 5 times. Wasn't earth shattering, but it definitely comboed a little bit better with you to get an extra warrior out, which sometimes made all the difference.
Yeah.
So, all right, she's not bad, but let's face it, she's not really that great.
I mean, yeah, and
there's a lot of times when moving one.
And we walked over this game, so it's a little hard for us to say.
All right, so and then her power, if you're playing 4-player with her, you're getting potentially.
No, you still only put 2 out.
Okay.
Max 2.
But you're always getting 2.
But you always get 2.
Well, that's. I mean, you can always use an extra pip. Basically, is what you're getting, right? It's an extra die pip, basically, right? So she's really good. Nubia gets an extra 2 cards.
Now this would be the worst. Yeah, that would just be annoying to me. That you've got 2 more cards that you make more choices every turn, but you can't discuss them. So
that's true. But I will point out though, if you have like the battle tiara,
it could be powerful. Sure.
Or if you have the amulet of harmonia, then it just all it does is say that you're more likely to get one of the cards that helps.
I mean, I would argue this is a better power in terms of power than these, but it's the least fun because you don't get to talk about it and help discuss. It's not like a cooperative power.
Right.
It's more like I'm going to do whatever I want. It also removes like all the stress. You're like, I'm going to have a million things to choose from. I'll always be able to do the best thing.
But I do think what's interesting is that it does set it up so that earlier in the game, you would, if the battle tiara or the amulet of harmonia came out, it would be more advantageous for Nubia to go get it. So that's all. So that's kind of interesting. And I'm guessing some of the other. Yeah, this one, there's another. Yeah, so there's one.
There's one to double each type of card, and then there's some
Girdle
special
of Gaia, Spear of Athena, Battle Tiara. So these 4 basically just double those emblems. So for her, actually, if she collected multiples of these, then you'd be in a seriously good position. Yeah. Of course, then what you're kind of doing is you're trading off. You're spending a little time to power her up. So she's kind of maybe better to power up, and then in the late game just be really smashing some things. Okay, so let's look up. During this, this is Philippus, who I like. I think I like her mold the best, actually. Maybe not. Her head looks kind of weird, I guess. How do these faces look? Yeah, the faces are all a little weird. During the strategize phase, draw one additional face-up hero card.
I like the
She's
face
better.
up at least.
So she's better, first of all, because you can plan better.
Yeah, I don't know if she's better, but she's...
You're getting
it's
one
more
less,
enjoyable.
you're getting one extra card. I don't know. I mean, is that as good as moving one space? Maybe, maybe not.
Well, she can't play it. She's just got one additional
I
card
understand,
to
but you
plan
can
with. But you
plan
can
it.
discuss
So I'm
it.
saying she's better than Nubia because you're being able to discuss that card is way better than being able to.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better in game terms, but it's more enjoyable.
I think it's better in game terms. You can.
It is.
You can.
How many times did we really coordinate? Most of the time we're just like, well,
in that
you're gonna
last
get
turn, I was
ability.
basically like, hey, I need to get over here, and if we couldn't,
But we thought you were gonna be able to move
look.
over.
You would your efficiency engine would be way better if you could just say, "This is what I'm doing this turn."
For sure.
And then the person say, "This is what I'm doing."
That's
So in that event, it actually gets.
And here's the best one of all, I think.
Draw 2 relics and choose to keep one from turn 1. Yeah. Artemis.
And it's
clearly
fun.
the best.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah. So and you're getting two. It's not like you're depriving the game because you're getting 2 of the ones that you. And then actually plan.
I believe that's true. Yeah, you still get the 4.
So what you're doing though is you're also, the 2 that aren't being. The one of the ones isn't being played. So if you were able to plan a little bit and say, well, I'm hoping to get the Lasso of Truth or something.
Wow, that's some advanced
now, if you were
strategy.
if you were to play this game a
that's
number of
not
times,
needed for this game. Yeah.
if you're able to play this number of times, you would know that the tiara is going to come out in the palace always, right? And so, if for some reason you knew that it was important for the,
I forget if you shuffle I know you do this first, so I think you may shuffle them back in, so you don't know it's going to be out of the game. By the way, but
I don't know, that's just an extra fringe thing. If you get, I mean, you could imagine where somebody, and I'm using your terminology, you could imagine a situation where if this game had an expansion which added 4 more villains or whatever, right? And somebody was like, oh, really enjoy this game. We're playing more. You'd be able to. You might remember where these items come out, and that might make a difference for you.
Yeah, although it's a small. I mean, we're not doing the review yet.
Clearly, she's better.
She's the most enjoyable. You keep going like, what's the best for the game, and I keep thinking, what's the best for enjoyment? Okay, and let's look at the rest of these relics.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the 4 that just hold on. Those are the 4 that
you want to organize the ones we played with.
Okay. Now this is the ones that just double.
Right.
Okay.
There's one that doubles each thing.
Let me. See. Okay. Here's the 4 that just double your powers, which are, I mean, that's fine. Right? This is the 4 that
do special stuff.
The golden armor. When moving, you may move directly to the enemy's region, then end your action. Oh my god!
So you can always jump right to the enemy. As you move.
Always this. This is the enemy. It's not like other enemies. Those are obstacles. Okay.
Right. These are the enemies.
So I mean, that's pretty awesome because you go.
That's very
because
thematically cool. You're like fighting.
Like so, if you know, you want to just wail on him for the last. Bunch of damage.
I mean, that could be your job. Like, I'm going to be the guy who always moves. You're right.
So what you would do actually is you would move there without spending a card, and then
No. You still have to do it as an action. You still have to spend a move action.
Right,
it's just it instantly puts you there.
So it
you
doesn't
don't have to
matter
worry
where you are
about.
on the-
Yeah.
Well,
it doesn't matter where you are on the map.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure. Fair enough. But that seems cool. Sandals of Hermes. When moving, you may move directly to any temple or monument, then end your action.
So it's a little bit fast. Again.
Does that really matter? Because look at this. So if you were over here and you wanted to move to here or here, sure, okay, I could see that that's useful. Yeah, that's pretty cool actually.
There are a lot of there's some cool ideas in this game, but it's because this is a perfect example, because it's almost like these rules were designed for an interesting game if there was a bigger, more complicated spatial navigation to do, but because everything is so close, it feels like a lot of the air was let out of that tension. Like, okay, I can move, but I can almost guarantee myself a move there.
Yeah, but I mean, if you were to play this game...
1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, look, most of the time you can generate 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The farthest anything away is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not... Like, that would be more interesting. Like, imagine Pandemic, where then you've really got to worry about navigation.
But if the boss can jump from these cards, just jumps anywhere on the map, you can't have anything be more than 4 spaces away, or otherwise the guy could jump, the enemy could jump, like... Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So, yeah, I mean,
Okay, and then we played with the others.
This is... I mean, I love... the replayability nature of, like, having different characters and things, so... You have different characters, and then
they make tiny changes to the game, not
and
huge.
then you have these to kind of further differentiate.
Thematically, it's fun, right? Thematically, it's cool.
Even though we don't know the theme. Oh, do you want to look at the other?
Yes, let's look at the bad
why
guys.
Don't you read that
okay, so we played Ares, who's the suggested one. They don't really say that I'm not sure they qualify these as harder, but that's the simpler one. Okay. So I do think it's a very interesting system how everything is on the thing. It's nice and simple. And I like how these change what they are. So let's look at Cheetah next. Cheetah.
The cheetah.
The cheetah, right? Look at her purples are wounded Amazons. So she wounds your people. And then she turns some of them into lycanthropes. Or I don't know if she turns them in. She summons lycanthropes.
So hold on. So for her thing, you place 4 of our cards next
She's
to
got a special deck. Remember, each one has a different deck.
Okay.
So she's got a different deck.
Yeah.
And she tries to discover artifacts. You can also lose the game if she discovers all her artifacts.
Okay. So there's 3 enemies, is that right?
There's 3. That's right.
It kind of seems like there's... So that's Circe's and this is...
And they have a nice little player aid with different actions. Now, it's always the case you've got the same basic, and then these are completely different.
Yeah, so this is 3, 2... So it's harder to remove the lycanthropes. It's 3 versus 2. And 3 to move a blockade. It's easier to move a blockade. And this you can actually use fight or walk to remove a hunting party is what it's considered.
Right.
And the dwarf, you have 1 damage, deal 1 damage.
Now, she's
once
she moves away, as soon as you do a damage... She moves away.
After reducing the cheetah's health. So you could do multiple damage.
That's right. That's the interesting strategic thing. You really try, for the cheetah, I guess, you're really trying to do big blocks of damage in one shot. So there's a case where teaming up might make sense.
You would deploy a lycanthrope to the cheetah's region. Yes, you're right. Yes, that's a very good point. Then draw a card, ignoring its effect, and move the cheetah to that.
So that does add a cool strategic element where you're like, we have to team up because we have to do a massive attack, single attack.
I mean, that's kind of cool because, and also thematically, like, I mean, I'm not familiar. Like I said, I'm not really a big DC fan, and I've never read a Wonder Woman comic, so I'm not really familiar with Cheetah. But to me, like, it seems like she's, I mean.
This is the new Wonder Woman movie, is Cheetah.
Kristen Wiig plays.
That's right.
So, like, if you could see, though, that you kind of hit her and she ducks into the underbrush and jumps around and runs around and ends up somewhere else on the island. So I think thematically that's cool. What else?
Well, she also notice for, no, it's the wrong side. 2 players, it's still 1 card.
Okay, so you deployed a lycanthrope to her region.
Right.
Draw a card, ignoring the effect, and move her to the region.
Same thing. Move,
draw cards 1 by 1
effect.
and complete the effects. For
and
2, draw 1 card. For 4, draw 3 cards. Okay.
And then for 2 players, we draw 1 card, which is what we did for Ares too. But for 4 players, you'd be drawing 3 cards.
Yeah. End of the round.
So
actually, this game. Does that mean this game gets easier? Oh.
No, it's scaled. It's scaled.
Because this changes. Okay, got it. And then what?
Then you lose a defense for each purple in the area.
You lose a defense for each one in
purple in the whole place.
Oh,
this is Themyscira. This is where they live.
Okay.
And then you add a purple to every place with an orange. You add purples to the lycanthropes.
Okay, and
and then you discard the top card of Cheetah's deck for each hunting party in the place.
Okay, so the problem is that the more of these, you really got to eliminate the purples. Right?
Well, you're losing because you're losing defense for them, but also these are eating up your clock. In Cheetah, there's a clock because as you're going through her deck, that's Circe's deck. As you're going through the Cheetah's deck, you're discovering her artifacts.
How does that?
And you lose the game if you would reshuffle the deck.
Where does it say that?
Shuffle a random artifact into her deck, and if she finds 3, which would be the 3rd time you reshuffle her deck, you lose. So it's a different lose condition.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Okay, yeah.
And then we have Circe. So we're on the 2-player side here.
Okay.
We start out very simply, place a purple. She's got magic beacons, wolf Amazons, and pig Amazons. So her thing is she turns your Amazons into little helpless creatures, and you have to protect them. So at the start of round, you move her, then you deploy a pig Amazon to that region, and then you lose defense for each region with orange, or each region with green, and 3 for both. First. Right, and then her cards tell you stuff that I think she does stuff. Replace all warriors. So she's turning these warriors into things. And then, if you look at your abilities when you play, you can move the turned beat. So you don't kill them. You don't remove them. You just move. You herd them around to keep them safe.
So, but then this thing says if in a region, lose 3 defense for each region with both of these. Oh my God, that's crazy. So, so you would want to herd. Oh, that makes sense actually. You want to herd the wolves away from the pigs, because the wolves will eat the pigs.
Yeah,
do you remember that old? There's like that thing about
the farmer and boat take the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's a chicken, a fox,
Yes.
and a bag of grain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know the solution. I think you have to take one over,
take two, and then you bring one back.
And then bring the other 2 back. Yeah.
Okay, so there are we've reviewed.
Yeah,
we played it.
I mean, just
these
looking
seem
at
more interesting,
way harder,
and more interesting.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, I wonder who's more. She's only got 8 health though.
It's true.
Whoa, because you have to spend a lot more time moving around.
Well, how do you hurt her?
She's got 14.
How do you hurt her? You have to spend 4
just the same as
of anything to deal 1 damage,
plus
and then
3
draw
more.
a card and place. Every time you hurt her, a purple comes out.
So every time you do that, every time you hit her, you have to pay an extra 3 for every one of the magic beacons. Wow. So they seem much more difficult.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So every one of those coming out,
she's building these beacons, making it harder and harder to hurt her. Yeah. So these seem harder.
So you have to remove all the beacons, and then when you hit her, she's going to put another one out, and you're going to have to remove that in order to hit her again, or you're just going to have to do way more damage.
But she does have low health.
She does have really low health, but still, so you would actually be tempted to go over and smash her real fast,
real quickly.
Yeah, okay, so seeing those other villains, I know this is sort of putting the horse ahead of the cart, but wait, putting the cart in front of the horse. One of those, putting the cart in front of the horse. But are you interested to play those 2 or?
Sure. I would put. We walked over this first game with Ares. I would say and we played it on the slightly higher difficulty.
We set the higher difficulty.
And I don't know if we played with the relics that it says are easier for that person. But
well, we randomly did it. So
shall we talk about our thoughts about the game? We've just finished a playthrough of the game. Mm-hmm. This is sort of our hot take on it because we've only played it once.
And you're Jesse?
I am Jesse.
I'm Greg. I'm joining.
You are?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. Yeah. Okay, so what we've talked about that we've only played this once, so that's a big caveat. Mm-hmm. But let's start where we normally start. What do you think about the art and components?
Yeah, I like it. We kind of, we discussed a little bit on the playthrough there how we felt about, the art. It's clean. All of the art design on the cards is very clean.
Yes.
Right? They're subtle, we talked a bunch about our thoughts about Wonder Woman in general, but this symbol is nice because it's part of her, iconography. And, so that's the subtlety, but it's also clean. It's the art looks nice. It's fine. I'm not excited about it, but I think it's very effective and it looks pleasing to the eye.
Very readable,
very clean.
Yeah, very nice.
And the iconography, clean. Mm-hmm. You taught this game right in the earlier here, and you taught it we talked quite a bit, but within half an hour, 20 minutes worth of that was probably rabbit hole discussions about nonsense.
No real confusion. Right. Very simple. Rule book's great.
And so, we just went over we talked about the bosses a bit, right? And I feel like that's those are,
almost everything is right out there. Everything it's designed very cleanly. Yes, everything.
Yeah. And the board, it's a nice looking board, right? Do you agree on that?
Yeah, completely. They're not the art is great. The art is great. It's not thrilling. You don't want to stare at it and say, "Whoa, sure, amazing!" But it does its job, and most importantly, it's clean and functional.
I would agree with that.
And I do like this. They said, "Okay, we're just going to put the art on the top. It gives you the nice art, but it doesn't make it."
So now you were talking
clutter up the cards
earlier about how you liked the fact that these are cubes rather than miniatures because most games.
Yeah.
So that has a dual function. Number one, I've noticed Ravensburger has been coming out lately. I think they did Horrified. Where is Horrified? Right here. Maybe not. I thought they did the Jaws game. Maybe. I think they're doing. I've noticed recently
stuff.
Yeah, and I think the games I've noticed from them coming out are generally fairly inexpensive in a way where you're like, wow, that's kind of and, you know, and I think, you know, and they have to get the license, which is quite pricey or whatever. But I think this game, I don't think it's that expensive.
No, it's not,
it balances,
for sure.
You get a mini, which is your person.
Nicely pre-shaded.
Yeah, and they're washed, which we mentioned before, right? Which really helps to pop those details if you didn't want to paint them, which I think is great. I've seen people do Zombicide like that instead of doing all the. And then what's kind of nice is that, well, you had mentioned that you really like the cubes instead of miniatures, and now kind of seeing.
Now you see why they have to be for this game.
To do that because in the thing, as we've been playing here, you've had. They have to represent different types of.
They're completely different for different enemies. They act as completely different objects.
And it would not have enhanced my enjoyment if it actually would have detracted from my enjoyment, because I just want to move over and go boom boom boom. I don't want to have to, which, you know, pop. I mean, it's just in terms of the gameplay, like, it doesn't add anything. I don't visualize.
It's all better. Having the cubes is all better, and they're so easy to differentiate. Like you mentioned, Zombicide, like
where they have the green, like one of the guys'
ears,
like that.
You can't tell the difference.
But I mean, for Zombicide, you know, you have a map.
It's dependent on thematic.
Oh, absolutely.
That
this map is abstracted in a way where, like, you know, these are just whole locations in a whole island. Zombicide, you're like, I'm moving my figure into this room, into this room, into this room. And for that, I think it's cool to have a lot of miniature zombies because you're visualizing it. This is abstracted enough where these abstracted makes a lot more sense. And for the speed of the game and the weight of the game, I think the cubes are perfect.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, especially since they went through the trouble of really each of the sculpts being. I mean, nowadays we expect that, right? Well, sculpts to be different, but they also have the wash, which is, I think, what an extra nice touch, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely makes a big difference.
So what about
components? Great. Yeah, I mean, component art.
I would say art is above average and serviceable.
Yeah.
And graphic design, clean, neat, fits the way
most
of the game
importantly.
perfectly.
Yeah.
So.
Whenever you see a board like this, the first thing you think of is this going to be a Defenders of the Realm game where I'm going to have to spend an hour looking for each place. Okay.
I mean, that's a good point, because, like, this is like the woods.
Oh, I didn't even.
But I wouldn't. I mean, the palace is easy to find, but this would not help me to find the Colosseum, really. Because
but here's a great example. Like, look what they did. Look at all the white space here. They made a decision. This is again with the art. They made they favored functionalism over beautiful art, and they said, okay. It's going to take away. No, I mean, they did great. It's a great trade-off, but I appreciate that it's so easy to find everything and so easy to read
well, there's
these
also,
things.
you mentioned Defenders of the Realm, which has become like kind of a thing for us to kind of mention that, because it's very annoying to find. I mean, it's like almost like a mini game trying to find where to put everything out. And in this game, through our playthrough, it was like, where's the Monument to Zeus?
Half a second, right?
I mean, it doesn't.
Now, in fairness, part of it is because there's so few.
I think that's a large part.
But it's also because they've said, okay, we're not going to write the word woods in script over this. We're making a big block of white space.
If I were a game publisher and somebody came to me and they said, these are the components that we want to use, and they showed me this exact setup, I would say, I would not change anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like, they really hit the nail on the head in terms of, like, it's clean, it does its job. Look, especially like these, you could see, in a lot of games they might not put this white box, they would just have that be art, right?
Absolutely.
And then you'd be like, where was the bracers again?
You could absolutely see
they're here, but look, there they are.
Yeah, and you could absolutely imagine that there was a debate about
whether
to make these more beautiful and not with these big giant white boxes, and it was real. I think that was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is. Yeah, again, for the weight of the game and everything, I think for the ease of play, I think they did a 10 on.
Okay, now.
We probably do you want to talk about that again for 20 more minutes?
No, but I do want to talk about briefly theme, because we don't know the lore, we don't know the Wonder Woman story, but I think even if you did, like, aside from the villains, which have a personality, they really do have a personality, so that's interesting. But aside from that, like. You get to the bracers, the tiara, but there's no, like.
Yeah, you had mentioned before. Well, we had mentioned before about how, like, we don't know. I've never read a Wonder Woman comic. We talked a bit about the movies and stuff like that, but I think reflecting on that, like, it did not hurt me to not know that, because I think
No, but
like,
that's a
especially
knock
talking
against it, I think, not a knock for it. For example, like when we play Marvel Champions, right, a game you really like,
Yeah, but I think
those
that-
cards, I know it's a completely different game, but the point is, those cards are all like, you're like, oh, that's this. That's telling us that She-Hulk was a lawyer showing this. This
yeah.
is none of that. These cards are these hero cards are
Well,
totally generic,
I would
bold,
argue with you about
adaptable.
that, because I feel that like it's a complete game weight thing. Like Marvel Champions takes a while, much
Sure.
longer time to learn. It's an expandable game. It's a whole other thing. For this game weight, I think it's great.
No, I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying though is that this is not going to give you that little dopamine if
Oh,
you're like
sure.
a Wonder Woman lore person.
Oh, I can
You're
see
not seeing scenes from
That's
Wonder
true.
Woman. You're not. Whereas a game like Marvel
Yeah.
Champions, every card in your
Right.
hand is like giving you a feeling of being in that comic book world.
Well, I would agree with that, but I do think that's a game weight thing. I think
It's a different-
that,
sure.
that it's because that game is way more complicated, and you have the room to make those sorts
Well,
of thematic
that's the right way to say it.
But-
You're not. What you're saying is you couldn't just add that to this
You
game.
really
The weight of this game prevents it. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, like, you know, you could really honestly could easily, that's a good point. And these are all hot takes, of course, like we talked before. Jesse opened this up and we just played it, so I'd never seen it before. So this is mostly hot takes, right? So like this essentially like is a very easy retheme.
Yeah,
You
completely generic.
you could wipe the Wonder Woman out of this game like that, and you know, you could even leave this board the
whole
same.
map.
You know what I mean? So I mean, because it's all Greek mythology, right? I mean, you could even leave these cards the same.
Yep.
So you'd have to change the villain. The villains are really, and this is my point here, is that the villains are really probably the most thematic part of the game, because they do really feel
Completely different mechanics.
She's jumping around and bringing out lycanthropes. She's doing this magic stuff, polymorphing people, and he's very generically just bringing soldiers and corrupting Amazons or whatever. So I think that these.
Well, let's talk.
What makes this more
Let's say what
thematic.
that. This is the most interesting part of this game. This idea that it's almost like a little sandbox for colored cube game. It's like here's the health of the enemy. It's very clean, simple. Here's the health of the enemy. Here's the health of you. And now for any given scenario, we're gonna make rules for how the cubes behave, and rules for when this drops, and when this drops, and this is it's a very clever, clean, simple system. You've got these certain actions that are certain things always stay the same in every game, and then the same set of things are always completely unique to the game. And I love that there's like, here's the unique part of this game. You want to play this different game? You take this card, and here's these.
I've mentioned to you before on the channel, I'm sure we've talked about a number of times, like my love of like finding a game system that I really enjoy, and then you know, having different scenarios for that.
Yeah,
right?
both
I
of
love
us
the
really
system
like that.
of something, and then give me more scenarios. So Lord of the Rings card game, I'll play 120 scenarios of that. You know, give me Pandemic, I'm going to play all the expansions. I'm going to play,
Don't you think
you know, all the different versions, standalone versions of that, because I enjoy that system.
part of that is we enjoy the system, we want to try it, but don't you think that the other half of why that's so enjoyable is because we love the game design issues? Like, I love to see a system and how it can be modified and tweaked, and the dials can be turned. Like, how do you make a generic framework and then show different versions of that and allow there to be different permutations? I mean, for me, half the enjoyment is just seeing how a game designer figured out they can make different rules and still have the same game and the same feel. Now, having said that, with how these are
that's
interesting.
What my next point
I
was
mean,
going to be, which is it a good game? Where are the pieces for
Money.
these guys?
Those they're over here.
Oh.
I mean, okay.
I just
So
wanted to see
having
if they were-
said that,
So yeah, I mean,
it
is
kind
it-
of fails.
You think so?
Yeah,
Well, wait, before you give that verdict.
it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, these people look pretty good, I guess. So their art looks pretty good, actually. These characters look pretty cool. You say it fails a little bit. Right?
They could have had miniatures for these, by the way. I wouldn't have minded that.
Yeah, I could see that.
a nice big-
Okay, so I mean, I'm in addition to my thing about the scenarios or whatever. Like I'll always love to talk about game length versus. Game length versus
weight.
Weight, or in other words, if the game is shorter,
it was a short
minutes,
game. It was a short game.
Yeah, I mean we screwed around, talked a lot, and learned how to play, discuss things or whatever. Right? I mean, essentially, at some point, when I realized how the game worked, I was like, okay, draw this, put this up, blah, 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 right? Because it's very quick, and so. I think that you and I, as a 2-player game, I think we could knock out a game of this in 40 minutes. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So the question
and that's
becomes...
first blind walk through how a villain works. Like, if you knew how that villain works, even faster.
Even faster. So, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, in general, like, if we went to play Cheetah or Cersei, I'm guessing it would be 40 minutes. Okay. So, given that, do you think that this is enjoyable enough of an interest? The choices are interesting enough, and the gameplay enough is enjoyable enough to where this is worth it for a 40-minute play?
No.
Really? So, to me,
that's caveated having played this guy. These do look a little more interesting, but no, I mean, not for me, not for us. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but this. First of all, the fact that we. Well, go ahead. Do you have more thoughts on this? Because I do. I mean, I agree that it's good that it's short, but it's not just that it was too easy. It was that it was too much. The decisions weren't very interesting. The program stuff.
Well, let's take
totally
it one
unnecessary. Okay.
Okay. First, you're playing the. You said the choices. Okay, in the beginning of the game, so choices being interesting. In the beginning of the game, the first round in our playthrough there, right? I was like, there's really nothing for me to do. I can do one of two things, and neither of them were that compelling. And so, most of the time, your choices are hemmed in by what cards you draw. And so, you're kind of just doing what you can do with your cards. Okay, so that's number one. Not that interesting. Okay, not that interesting. But I think the programming is the part that's a little. So So we and I agree that like the choices there are some like there's enough choices to make it a game for sure.
Well, can I slightly
go into the other
turn
one?
that? Because I think the best way to describe my feeling for the game is missed opportunities. For me, like all the rules and the modularity, the framework is all there. Like you look at it from a game player, from our experience playing Pandemic and all these games, like the pieces are there. The rules are there. This idea of having to decide when to move, when to attack, when to shift, when to do this, when to go gather stuff, figuring out how to do an efficient movement attack, all of that on paper is there. And then it feels like what they did was they took a big game with some interesting spatial elements and where those decisions are important, and they shrunk it down to sort of a family weight so much that all of the decisions were like, if I get the card that lets me move, I'll move. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter. Everything was, all of the stress, all of the tension was gone from our decisions. It didn't feel like they really mattered.
I think that's you kind of touched on something like, does this game work for us or does it work for a family? And I think like if we had kids, if I was a Wonder Woman fan or my kids were Wonder Woman fans, if I had kids and they were Wonder Woman fans or I was Wonder Woman, whatever the case may be, this would be, and they weren't really gamers or avid gamers or younger or whatever, or maybe like, I could see this is like great
a little family game, a family co-op
or
game.
even a gateway-ish type game, right? But as a gamer, there's not a ton of, that's what I was saying, like, but for a 40-minute game, it's interesting to me. Now, this is the thing to
just quickly, although the whole programmed movement is gonna hurt that family. Like that's not gonna be good for a little 8-year-old kid to be like, here's the plan, and then I'm gonna get 3 more cards and program movements.
Since this was a hot take learning, hot take playthrough, and now hot take review, all in one go. I mean, we've been at this for a couple hours, and I mean, all of this is as we go. I'm now actually completely reversing
because of that
because of
program
programming.
movement. Yeah.
You can't. I mean, it's designed to keep you from quarterbacking. I'm guessing.
But
all it really does is make it annoying.
Yeah.
Because that part of the game. So before we go into the, because I do feel like that's going to be there's might be a meatier discussion. In general, like I feel like the sign of a game where I feel like good sign of a game, a good mark in its column, is when I look at it and I say, well, I'd like to try that other, you know, because I would like to try one of the other two, or maybe all three. And if you could tell me that in an hour and a half I could play both of those, that's great. That being said, I mean, you could tell me, you know what, Greg, I didn't really like it, and I never want to play it again, and I would say, okay, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't need to, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I'm not so invested in that, but I'm curious, which is a good sign. But we'll go into programming. So you and I both do not like programming.
That's right.
In general. And recently it seems like we've had this sort of hiccup mechanic. Room 25.
We've played two games now.
And what's the Spirit Island? Okay, and now this game. So there seems to be this new thing that designers like to do where they kind of put this wrinkle in where you kind of program something and then there's a middle phase. Oh, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dead Man Tells No Tales. Not in the program aspect, but in terms of like this, like there's something and then something and then something. It's sort of these an elegant system of like, you know, Pandemic, where it's like I take my turn, then the deck goes.
Yeah, they're trying to stop you from making a complete, explicit plan that works everything out.
And I think most of it though is probably to interrupt some
and quarterback.
But there's it's sort of weird because like there are cards that try to help you to so 2 or more heroes played this, you know, double their emblems. I mean, there's cards like, you know, double the emblems of one other hero in your region, but it's like you're not. Why would you do this? Because like I can't talk to you when you're planning your face down cards. So this card is now useless. And again, if because of the cards you drew you didn't get what you needed and you have to completely redo your plan, well then what? I'm gonna put this card in that thing, hoping that you're gonna be in the no.
Yeah. So and most of the time you're just like it's not worth it. It's not worth even worrying about.
It's not worth even thinking about because and our idea of enjoyable play is to be able to discuss what.
Now I mean it is. You know, it's one of these things that on paper sounds better than it in experience. But I mean, it is. I can appreciate the attempt, right? Like they're trying to like have a period where you can talk and plan slightly, which is cool. We did our planning, and then you've got this other thing that makes it impossible to quarterback, and you're like, well, if I get this, I'll do that. So there was a moment there were maybe 2 moments where it was interesting where we were like, well, here's our plan A, and then if I get this, I'll plan B. So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst program movement, but it does just slow things down.
You sort of get the worst of both worlds. It's sort of like, hey, do you like chewing gum? Hey, do you like pistachios? Well, you're like chewing your gum, but it's crunching. It's the worst of both things. It's getting nuts in your gum or whatever. You know, and there's like some thing. But it's like that, right? It's like well, you're kind of getting the worst of both things because I can talk to you about it, but I can't really, and maybe that will go out the window. And it sort of gives you a sense of like ambivalence because I'm like, well, I don't care. I'm like, well, if I get this card, I can do this and we can do this. And you're like, well, I might not get it. I'm like, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just going to do my own thing.
Yeah, and another part of that is it makes detailed planning, which the two of us love, pointless. Like, you know it's not going to survive you getting those cards. But this is another, like, we should take the opportunity. This is co-op for 2. We have certain preferences. Yeah. And you could imagine if you're of a group of 4 people playing co-ops and you're like, I hate when the whole thing grinds down and people work out plans for 10 minutes. I just want to be able to do my thing with a little bit of planning. That could be a strength that you know.
You know what I almost feel is better?
Yeah.
I think, to me, this design would have been better if, it would eliminate that discussion point. But that discussion is almost moot because you don't know what you're going to get. You're like, well, if I get this kind of card, I can do this. So that's fine, but I would almost say, like, if you're going to play 4-player, if I were to introduce this 4-player, I would be tempted to say, everybody you can't talk about what you're going to do.
Can't talk, just make it.
Here's 5 cards, just make it.
Well, this is the second game we've played that both of us had that thought. What was the other game where I was thinking the same thing? Like, it was Room 25 when you plan out your 4 actions or whatever, and I was thinking, well, if you don't want to have them do this explicit planning and go through all this trouble, maybe just make them do one thing at a time and then you're not even pretending that you can make this full plan together. But
the part of the problem there was that you have in that game you have to each play 2 characters, and so you're like trying to and you can watch a review on that one. But like, I guess both of these games like I feel very similarly like where it's like, well, I can play it some more or never again, and it's like they both have this uncomfortable wrinkle that's just doesn't really serve any purpose.
But it does make, like, we don't like the program move, but it does make you think, like, how would this game play if you had 4 cards in your hand each turn and you just took turns, like you do your action. You're like, I think I'll go over there, and then I said, okay, well, let me come over there, and
but then you wouldn't be able to discuss it anyway.
Well,
it's sort of a wrinkle that's like not really done because it's I don't think it works very well. I mean, I think the attempt was an interesting one to be like, hey, what if you force the players to do this and you try to stop people from quarterbacking? But all it does is you make some plan and like you're in those 3 cards. I don't know. It just
I mean, it wasn't terrible as far as program movement goes. It wasn't worse, but I do think you made a very good point though, or I don't one of us made it. It could have been me about the fact that. On its own, the program movement is not a killer, but the fact that it feels like this is a game for families and new gamers, and then you combine this one mechanic, that's going to make that a harder sell.
Well, also the fact that like so this bold is like double this card's emblem as your first action. Well, if I make a plan and then I get this, it's like, well, now I can put that in and I can go the full way, but then you can't coordinate with the other person anymore, or your whole plan. It just I don't really feel like going back and redoing my plan because who cares? I'm just going to use this. Like, so these cards that say double the emblems, you can't plan with the other person anyway because usually you're going to walk and then do something with the person, right? So like we're both going to meet here and fight the villain. Well, I mean, if I'm going to get this at the end, it's not going to change how I would have. Yeah. I don't know. It's just sort of like seems kind of pointless. I don't know. I think that's a huge ding on this particular game.
I would agree with you. And then, so let's leave the program movement stuff and back to gameplay for a second. One of the things that was really disappointing about this game was when I read the rules about this thing, about how he turns things into something else, and we had to worry about bringing out Amazons because they could get turned, like, that never was an issue. There was one time when he turned one thing.
Yeah. Well, it just keeps you from generating piles. I wonder if it fixes like where you could just sit and just build up like 20 of those things.
Sure, but look, this is a perfect example of missed opportunities in this game. The similarities between this and Fall of Rome are really there. This idea that you're generating these people that you can walk around. But think about Fall of Rome. You've got incentives to leave them places because they're defending things, then decisions about how many should I leave. They might get this is like, what do these guys do if they're alone? Nothing. They don't help you. They never help you. So there's no reason to ever leave them. They're not giving you some defense.
Well, I mean, this obstacles may not deploy to your region, and warriors in your region may not be replaced. So if you had the bracers, like so, if you were to take Artemis, who gives you 2 relics, and you were able to take the bracers, then you might be tempted to do a strategy where like you just sat in one of these watchtower or whatever and just generated just piles and piles of these, and then you just went around like you could one-shot any villain. You just go over and just.
Well, that's a good point. Right. That might be interesting.
Well, maybe him, but these 2 characters have ways of like.
That's true.
Changing that.
But I really feel like obstacles. Cool idea. They block your movement. You have to strategically play. We saw there were 2 obstacles in the game, and we just got rid of them like that. They were never an issue for us. Like half the game,
well, but you
we
didn't
didn't
see why
experience.
It's sort of annoying because like it was strange because like I'm in the shore and an obstacle came here and I can't leave, which I have to take a moment to do that. It wasn't particularly compelling. Again, I think this is like the big picture is that like I think the design is clean. Like in terms of, the graphic design is clean. The art looks good. It looks good. It's a clean look, easy to learn, easy to play. It has some variety with those 3 villains, and the choices. The program movement is a little frustrating.
I think we're just about done. But for me, I would sum it up by saying really missed opportunities. Yeah. The mechanics and the system, I'd love to see on a larger map with more interesting spatial decisions.
I think then it's too complicated. I think then you get out of the 40 minute.
Huh?
Oh, so you're saying just redesign the game.
Use the basic system of how these behave differently depending on the thing. But
I could play again.
Yeah.
Or I could never
well,
play
what's your numeric score?
That's a hot
You can't give it.
I can't give a number.
I could give it. That's my job. I'll give it.
And it's my job to say, really, every time.
I would give this a 5. 5.
I'm not going to say, because actually kind of in my head I thought you were going to say 5. First time that's ever happened. Yeah, again, I think just in a whole, I don't like that program movement in general, and I think this is a worse simplification of it because it makes it impossible to kind of coordinate or make a plan. Some of the cards incentivize you to coordinate, so they're kind of like out the window. So then you just don't plan it all together. And if the intention was not to quarterback, I think that was a weak attempt at, I'm glad they tried something different, but
yeah, I mean, there's some good. I want to make one. I want to end on a positive note for me. Like the philosophy of the game design for this, I like. I like that there's very little luck. The luck in the cards here, and it's very periodic, which we like. When it comes time to doing your actions, it's all deterministic. There's no let's add some dice in here because it's a family game. I love that. I love that. On every round you've got like here are the things we can take care of before we have to pay the penalties, and so you actually are incentivized to figure out the best way to reduce the harm.
Yeah, I think. I think in general, what's interesting to me actually is that a lot of times I feel that expansions overcomplicate a game. But if this game were to have, say, an expansion, and it would have like 3 new villains, but then also add a new layer in here.
Maybe another spatial map would make the area.
I'm just saying something to add a little more complexity or interest without significantly increasing the game length. This could be really a winner. So, often you're really good at getting games and trading them away. This might be one to hang on to in case they do come up with one and to try it again.
Another example, like Horrified, where no game designer on the that must be it's like a trend with licensed games. They don't want someone to get credit for it.
No, I don't know. Maybe that's good. Ravensburger is snatching up like Jaws, Wonder Woman. I thought they had that. They have maybe a Godzilla game too. I think they've been doing stuff like that recently. The Godzilla might not be.
Now, Greg didn't want to give this a rating, but let me see if I can pull a little something out of him. We've played Horrified recently, and we've played this. No, I don't. I don't need you to. Okay. I just want to know how would you rank them? Which one is one much better than the other?
Horrified's theme, I'm getting all the nods, and there are a lot of nods in there, and there's a lot of love that went into the theme. Yeah. This game easily can be re-themed, very easily. Okay, the villains are the only thing that give it any kind of a theme. So I mean. That comparison-wise, there's more to Horrified. It's not more complicated, but I think Horrified is clearly a better game. There's the choices you make are much more interesting. There's more, just the layer of how you move villages around is much more interesting.
I would agree. So maybe I should rate this lower. I think I may have rated Horrified a 5 too, but I think Horrified is a better game and it's more properly. It would be easier to recommend to a family than this one because of the program movement. Yeah. But I like the system ideas better maybe here. Yeah.
I think this is like the trend of like games I'll play again or never again.
So Horrified would be a good similar game. So might Pandemic Fall of Rome has some similarities.
Yeah, actually, I guess so. Yeah, sure. There are some things that are similar in there, but not too many others like it. All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
Thanks everyone for watching. Oh, I did your thing.
You did the thing. Right?
All right, we'll see you.
Hold on, don't take someone else's catchphrase. That's what Jessica said.
That is what I would say. All right, guys, see ya.
Jesse, will you teach us Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons?
I'd be happy to, and thank you for coming on again today.
Yeah. It was a good thing because I remembered the title of this game, which Jesse needed a couple of. So you liked it before we had our banter, but then I realized, as I was saying our banter, I realized that you didn't want the banter.
So. No, you could throw in the banter.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
We start again? Okay.
Jesse, will you teach us Wonder Woman?
I'd be happy to. And thanks for joining us again today.
Always happy to come on.
You always are here. Every time. All right, sorry, I got to do it again. It's hard to ad-lib during the intros. Greg, are you ready to learn Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons?
I am.
It's great to have you here, by the way.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay.
I'm glad that you finally got, after repeatedly having to do that, remember the name of the game, which is Challenge of the Amazons.